Hello, everybody, and welcome to Recipe for Reality, a jam-packed Survivor 50 celebration week. We had our Survivor 50 draft on Sunday, which we aired with, oddly enough, the same panel you will see today, where we honored the legacy of 50 seasons in a draft day format. On Monday, you will have gotten the cast assessment with Zach and I, and now we are here with our mini kind of cast assessment, but also fantasy draft with the rest of the panel. It was originally supposed to be one big cast assessment / fantasy draft, but Zach, because of this crazy snowstorm and blizzard, we actually upgraded to a blizzard in the last hour, I think, at least for New Jersey. First blizzard warning in 30 years. Zach will not be able to attend today, so we are going to try to get a separate cast assessment with Zach where we just kind of talk about our boot order more so focus, and then this one will be more of a cast assessment with fantasy tied in, which is a little different because fantasy is more about immunity wins and idols and advantages and confessionals, also not just how you place in the season. So we'll talk about that in a sec. But I can't do this alone. I am here with some panelists, two of which have always done our fantasy drafts because we used to do it just the four of us, me, Zach, and then these two guests. And we would just kind of draft the 16 remaining players left in the game after a few episodes. But we figured it is a big number. We know all these contestants. It's divisible by 6. So let's add 6 panelists to this show and do a mega draft preseason because we know all these players. It's not like we have to kind of see them in action for a few episodes to get a sense of what they're going to play like and who's going to get confessionals, stuff like that. So we're doing a mega draft. The first guests, obviously, you see them at every fantasy draft. Austin, sometimes Zach, and Ingrid. Because Austin, as I said, Zach will not be here. So Austin will draft as Zach. He has Zach's draft list in the wings. And a hat. Yeah. So when Austin has a hat on, he is Zach. How you guys doing? Welcome back. I know you were just here for our draft day. Now we're here for another draft with a little bit of a different kind of lens to it. But how y'all doing? Are you excited for 50, which happens in just a few days?
We're going to a watch party in Baltimore that's being hosted by Ozzy and Gabe Ortiz. So we're very excited for that. So.
It's snowing here as well.
Yes.
Just not as blizzardy as it is in New Jersey.
Yeah, I feel like as the panelists get introduced, we'll get less and less snow. We will see.
Sure.
I'm very snow locked right now. I can see the inches piling up on the roof, but yeah, I'm glad you guys are safe. I'm glad you guys could be here as well. This is gonna be fun. Cool. Yes, all right. Next, we have a co-host on one of our channels, Framewreck. He is a time zone behind, so I don't know if there's any snow hitting Tulsa right now. Probably not. I don't really know the weather in Tulsa on any given day, especially today. But Matt from Raro Tribe, Matt Chapmond, welcome here. How you doing, man?
It's 50 degrees and sunny here today.
Okay, yeah. So we've officially passed the snow. That's good. How you doing, Matt? You excited to be here?
I'm very excited to be here. I think this is my third time on Recipe for Reality and never with Zach. So one day maybe I'll be on with Zach. But
yes. I will tell everyone right now, we are going to try to do weekly, maybe not right after the episode, but weekly recaps and power rankings and stuff as long as we can. And there will be episodes where Zach is busy and I have to have a guest on. There will also be weeks where I'm busy and Zach has to have a guest on. So we will make sure, Matt, that you and Zach will be podcasting together. Hopefully the three of us. At some point. But I'm really excited for this whole season ahead because I think all these guests on the panel will be seen quite often in the next few months, recapping these episodes and talking about these episodes because it is a monumental season and we're very, very excited. But last and certainly not least, you saw her on the draft day. You're seeing her here. It is in honor of our favorite contestant of all time, Banu, Carly the Mermaid Dragon, in honor of Kenzie. It's Kenzie's nickname, but given by Banu. So a twofer right there. Carly, welcome. Do you have any snow where you are? You're in Seattle area.
It's close. It's high 30s. So, but no, no snow, no rain. Gotcha. We're just kind of
just chilling.
Cold, but it's not. Yeah, it's not freezing.
Nice. Fresh off a Super Bowl win. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Are you excited to be a part of this fantasy draft? Maybe getting some luck on your side from your Seahawks.
Oh my gosh, season 50 is gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait. Off the high of that Seahawks win, hoping one of my faves can win 50. That would be great.
Yes, we will see. We have 24 contestants to draft, including a ghost drafter in Zach. So we have a lot of opinions to share. We will talk about these contestants and our thoughts on the season as we share them. But to get into the rules of what the fantasy draft is in terms of point values, they're pretty much the same as they always are. You get 7 points if you predict the winner. I mean, if you predict the winner, you should be awarded more than the average 5. It's the most highest point value you can get. You also get 1 point per day your player survives. So if you make it all 26 days, you get 26 points. If you're voted out day 3, you get 3 points. Finds idol, 5 points if you find the idol. If you play the idol on yourself, you will get a point, an extra point basically. And if you play it on someone else, the person who gets the idol played on them will get a point. And if you negate an idol, a vote negated by an idol is an extra point. So let's say someone plays an idol on themselves and negates 5 votes. That is 5 points for finding the idol, an extra point for playing the idol, and then 5 extra points for all the votes that they were able to negate. It's so that everyone who got the idol played on them gets rewarded for that strategic aspect, but also the person playing the idol gets some credit as well. If you find an advantage, this is a new one. We didn't really give points for advantages, but if you find an advantage that is not an idol, but it is an advantage, you will get 3 points. Individual immunity wins are 5 points. Tribal immunity wins are 2 points per player on that tribe. If you sit out of a challenge, you do not get those points because you did not help earn that immunity win. Yes, you earned the immunity win by sitting out and giving your players the chance to go win it without you. But the players who won the challenge themselves will be getting those points. So that's something important to note. If you're picking a Sandra, maybe not. Fire making a winner, 3 points. We don't know if there's going to be fire making. So if there's fire making, you get 3 points. This also counts if it is a deadlock final 4 vote and they still go to fire. Whoever wins the fire making challenge will get 3 points. Same as if there's a tribe that gets dwindled down to 2 players like Stephanie LaGrossa. If you win a fire making challenge in this season, you will get 3 points. If you are taken to final tribal, you get 2 points. So this is at the end. When we're left with the final 4, again, if there is a final fire making challenge, whoever gets taken will get 2 points because that is some strategic, ability right there. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, but either way, you were taken to the end. You didn't have to fight for it, so there should be some reward there. An episode title. If you say the episode title, you get 1 point. If Jeff says it, it's a void point. No one's going to get a point if Jeff says the title. If you get 10 or more confessionals in an episode, you get 2 points. Meaning, anytime you talk to the camera and your name flashes above the screen, that's a confessional. There are confessional trackers online, official ones that we are going to go by, so don't worry about counting those every episode. If you get no confessionals in an episode, which might be this is a very contentious one because I don't know if everyone's going to get seen in every episode or because there are 24 people on the season, some people are going to be lost in the dust. This is going to be a big contentious one, but if you don't get a single confessional in an episode, you get a -1 point. If you lose your vote at tribal, you lose a point here. If you get a vote against you, you get a -1 point. If you are voted out with an idol in your pocket, you lose 5 points. Survivor 46 would have seen a lot of negations there. I think we added that because of Survivor 46. Yeah. If you are medevaced, you get -2 points. We're not necessarily going to say like you should be punished for being medevaced, but it is kind of the luck of the fantasy game of, if you get a player with an injury, basically, you're not having too much luck on your side. So it just adds a little element of surprise to the fantasy draft format, though we're not going to negate a ton of points for medevacs. But if you quit the game in Survivor 50, if you give up an opportunity that so many players wanted, Carolyn, Amanda Kimmel, Jerry Manthe, all these players that didn't get on the season, and you give up your spot and quit the game for a reason that is not family-oriented or injury-oriented, we're giving you 50 points subtracted. So if you just say, I'm done, I don't really want to be here, I didn't really want to be here in the first place, then come on, you took up a spot on the most coveted season. You suck. You get 50 points taken from you. There are going to be exceptions we will talk about if we get to those when they come. Hopefully they won't come at all. And then some new wildcard additions. If you hug Jeff Probst, we're going to give you 5 points because this is a very celebratory season and it'll kind of keep us excited on the edge of our seats every episode, seeing if anyone's actually going to reach for the embrace there. If you drink alcohol at the auction, you usually get voted out of the game. So we're going to give you 2 points there as a little courtesy because everyone who drinks alcohol usually goes home that very episode. It's a margarita curse. But you know what? You had some fun. We'll give you 2 points there. And if you reference Survivor Gabon, this is my personal choice here, I will give you a point. If you are able to reference any moment or player from Gabon, unless it's in the context of heroes versus villains, if Coach was talking about Randy. But if you are mentioning Gabon or a moment from Gabon, we're going to give you a point because that's the most random thing that could happen on season 50, where I think that is the most removed season. That in Nicaragua or Caramoan, I guess. But there we go. Those are the point values. Does anyone have any questions on points before we get in? I know there are probably some discrepancies and stuff we could probably talk about off air when they come throughout the season, but if there's any big glaring questions, Matt, did you have one?
Yeah, I have a question about if we can up the point value of Gabon. Because it's as unlikely as a quit, I think that it should be the counterbalance to the quit. I think that it should be 50 points added.
50 points added. Is anyone opposed to that? We could make
50 is a lot.
Okay, how about this?
Maybe 10.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm fine upping it to 5.
Gabon is season 17. Do we want to split the difference and go 17 points?
Yeah, let's do 17.
Let's do
Okay.
17.
17 points. So if you mention Survivor Gabon,
it can't be them talking about Randy and Sugar and Heroes versus Villains.
Right. So if Aubrey wins an immunity and is like, hey, this reminds me of that time that Randy blindfoldedly rolled down that ball down that hill, then 17 points to Aubrey.
17 points.
Yeah, that is our draft. What do you call them? Guidelines, rules. I have the wheel here. Because Matt and Carly are new drafters, we're not going to go based on the last draft. Also, because I believe I wasn't in the last draft. Austin, Ingrid, is that correct? Was it just you and Zach?
You were.
Was I auto drafted or did I draft?
You sent a list to Zach. And Zach
that's right. Yeah.
Drafted you from that list.
So again, because of auto drafts and stuff too, it's like, you know what? We're gonna start fresh with the draft order. I don't have recollection of drafting. That's why. Let us see. Yes, Austin did win 49. Well, you can pick her again this year, Austin. You can pick her again. I know she's the heavy to win this year. Anyway, here's the draft. And in this one, you'll be picking your spot in the draft order. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go first. It is snaked though. Zach. Then we'll just put Zach. If it lands on Zach, we'll just put him next in the order wherever that is. All right, Matt, you're first. Do you want to go first in the order?
Man. Yeah, I'm going to go.
Where do you want to go?
I'm going.
So Matt will have the first pick in the draft. And it is snaked. I should have mentioned that. It will be snaked. I did not mention that. Okay, well, we're gonna run into this situation. We'll give Zach second pick in the draft. Okay, Zach will get second pick in the draft just because his list is in order of priority. So I assume he'll just want to get whoever's next. So Zach is going to be second in the draft, and we are going to have. I will go third. I will go third in the draft. Obviously, I'm just going to take advantage of that when I can. Sorry, Austin. I know. And Ingrid, would you like to go 4th, 5th, or 6th in the draft?
Dude, just leave me at 4th. I don't know.
4th. Okay. Austin and Carly, one of them will get 5th, one of them will get 6th in the draft. I think there are at least 6 potential winners on the season. Oh, I'm so sorry, Austin.
Maybe other people don't think it's the same 3 that you think.
Carly is going to. Do you want 5th or 6th in the draft? You want 6th? Okay, so Austin, you're gonna have 5th pick in the draft, which means you'll have the second pick in the second round. So, you will have 2 early picks of the first 10 or the first 12, I guess. Or there's 7 of us. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 12 of us. I don't know what I'm saying. I thought there were 7. I can't count right now. Sorry. Okay. So the draft is commencing. Matt, I don't have graphics for first pick, second pick. So Matt, just tell us, who are you going to pick first in this draft for Survivor 50?
I was glad that I got to go first because there's several that I love, but there was one that I had to get first, and I think it's not really going to be a surprise, but that it's Suri. I think that. While the challenges, I'm not going to get a lot of points there. I think confessionals, hugging Jeff, and talking about Gabon. No, I'm kidding. But
talking about Gabon,
points against is going to be in my favor as well, considering she has the lowest percentage of her or something. I don't know that that's completely accurate, but across her many shows that she's done, she's gotten so few votes against her. I'm even this is a situation where even if I come in last place, I'll be happy because I got to rep Suri.
Yeah, I think Suri, her upside is obviously huge. If she makes the final 3, she's winning the game. It's just I think it's very unlikely they'll let her get there because she would also have to win a fire making challenge if there is a fire making challenge. And even if there's a vote, if you have Suri unless she wins immunities. But that's the thing. I think Cerie's endgame is always going to be the toughest part. Her first like few days and her last few days are always the toughest parts of any game for her. I think though, if she can get past like the first few episodes, I think she's at least a lock probably for the merge, I would assume, just because also people are going to be starstruck. They're not going to necessarily want to be the guy who took out Cerie. And not everyone wants to be Denise on Winners of War who takes out the queen. So I think the major upside is that she also is very well connected going into the season. You know, she's got relationships with Ozzy and Colby and Stephanie, a lot of the old schoolers, but I also think some of the new schoolers, she's just well ingrained in the community. So I think it's a good pick. She is kind of what I've settled as my winner pick, only because she's like wishful thinking winner pick. Also because the original 2 winner picks I had when they first announced the cast months ago, I think I've kind of lessered on just watching some of the pregame press, and I'll talk about them when we get there. But I think it's a great pick.
Two things that I want to add here real quick. Number one, well connected is a great way to describe her because she is the godmother. She is one of her powers is being able to draw people close to her and be protected in that way. So I think that is going to help her along as long as she can make it through those first few days, which I think she will, because we have to remember she was one of the first people to really talk about this season, and she said it was the best season of Survivor ever.
True. Yes. I also want to say on that note, I know some people out there might be spoiled, some people might not. I am not, so I'm trying to just make sure if we're talking about any. No, that's okay, because anything that you say on social media publicly, anything you say publicly on social media is okay. But I don't want anyone to read into like airport theories or trying to like judge people on their facial hair or looking at the posters.
I stay away from all that stuff. So
being like, oh, Christian has a beard in the preview of the season. You know, people can grow beards quickly, but I just want people to know, no spoilers talk here. If anyone's spoiled, I don't think any of us, because we're fans, would be spoiled. I think it's fun to just go in blind. But I think regardless, Cerie feels very pro season 50, which makes me feel she won't be the first boot of the season. But Austin, are you upset that you didn't get this one?
Absolutely. that's also I'm not even, it's not even a wishful thinking winner pick. It is my genuine winner pick. Like, I genuinely think that this is her time.
Nice.
I think she will get there, and I think she's gonna. I think Matt just got. I mean, it's not even a steal of the draft because he got it was first overall, but it's still steal of the draft there. I think I have 2 winner picks, and I've already previewed, and I know I'm not getting my other winner pick either. So
I don't know. I don't remember who your other winner pick is. So
what I'm saying is I've now looked at Zach to see, because since he was second pick, I went to. And I know Zach is taking my other winner picks.
Oh no! I'm so sorry, Austin. Okay. Hopefully, I won't take your third one, or Ingrid won't take your fourth one. Ingrid, was Cerie on your list?
One thing I want to say about Cerie before it goes to Ingrid here, I do also think that of every pre-season 40 person, she is the most equipped to play season 50 because of Australia versus the world. She now knows and understands how to play a condensed version of the game that some of those other pre-season 40 people are not going to be as prepared for.
Austin, I just have a question. Do you think in an endgame scenario, if there is a fire making challenge, do you think she can win a fire making challenge?
Depends
or do you
on
think
who she's against?
No.
But she was right there with Luke in Australia versus the world. She lost to Luke by maybe 2 to 5 minutes. If she's up against a Rizzo who really sucked at fire against Savannah, or I don't know, I'm looking at I have Camilla. Mine and Ingrid. Camilla struggled. I could see maybe Aubrey struggling. I know Aubrey won fire making on hers, but I don't know if Aubrey's necessarily always going to be good at fire.
Yeah, you have a lot of fire making losers on this season. Jonathan lost fire. Devin's lost fire. So
there's people on here that if she has to go to fire with them, I could see now that we have, and I am sure Cerie practiced fire even more after Australia versus the world into this.
That's what I was going to say, is that Cerie rarely ever makes the same mistake twice. And I think that while she probably should have worked on fire before now because she's lost it before, I feel like after Australia versus the world, especially because she was trying everything in that trying the little swing and stuff,
and she got home from Australia versus the world to be
exactly,
hey, so this shit doesn't happen again. What do I need to do?
I think that she went home and learned multiple ways. That's my assumption on it. So
cool. Ingrid, did you have Cerie on your list?
Yes and no. Like, I very much feel that wishful thinking. I feel like, first of all, I don't want to go in and be like, Saria's going to win, because
you'll get your heart broken.
I'm going to be upset when she doesn't. Because when Saria never wins. But do I think this could be her time? Maybe. But like, I do think that there are a lot of hurdles, but there's also a lot of pros. Like, I'm looking at like her tribe. I have a graphic in front of me, and I'm like, some of these people are going to want to work with her, but there's so many people also on that tribe that are wary of her, especially looking at the preseason interviews that like people have given. That I'm like, I don't know. Like, and again, they can say they want her out preseason and then get on a tribe with her, and then they're like, oh wait, no, never mind. Like, that is totally possible. But I'm just like, I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
I do think she'll be here for a long time. Like, I do agree that she's gonna, at minimum, be on the jury. But
and the thing is, for fantasy, that's all that matters is longevity. It doesn't matter if you win.
I'm not convinced that she will win, or anything like that. I think that so many things have to go right for her, and it's very rare that things go right for Saria.
Yeah. Carly?
Yeah, of course. She was my number one. She's I only had 2 people in my top tier, and she was one of them. Like she like, the thing about her is she usually makes deep runs. So like, I don't think she's gonna win. I would be so happy to be proven wrong. I don't think she's gonna win, but I do think she is a good pick. I do think if she gets all the way to fire, she could surprise someone with a win, depending on who she's up against. But I don't think she wins, but I do think she's a really good pick.
Nice. Well, there you go. First pick is in the books. Saria Fields. I assumed she was going to go in the top few picks. She's amazing. But Zach has the next pick. Zach, what are you picking?
Breaking Austin's heart.
You just spoke as Austin with the hat on for so long.
I know. I was preparing to be Zach in these moments coming.
Austin, or Zach, sorry. Who are you picking? So,
to break Austin's heart, Zach will be taking. This was actually Zach's number 1 pick, even above Saria on his list. He will be taking Aubrey.
Oh boy,
that's a dig for you.
Yeah, that is. Yes, you understand that is a dig for me.
Austin, I will let you talk as Austin, because Zach probably didn't give any context.
He's not stopped talking about Aubrey.
Yeah, I just think enough time has passed now. Like, I think what really made Aubrey have to struggle for so long was that she played Survivor 3 times in 5 years, and every time was like probably A, more tired than the last, but B, still like that big, huge strategic threat in everyone's mind. And I just think with this cast, like, people aren't going to be looking at her in the same way when there's like a Genevieve and a Camilla who have very recently played and have that same level of strategic scariness that Aubrey has. I think there's enough time that Aubrey's like had a way to where people aren't going to look at her as hard as they did, and she's going to be able to maybe slide back into that under the radar, controlling things narrative. She's a mom now. I think that's going to help her with like more of the like personal connection, empathy moments that she was already good at, but like she's going to be able to like delve even more into those, I think. I think for me, it's always been, I've had my heart pick of Saria and my head pick of Aubrey as my 2 winner picks that I've been debating between.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I think Aubrey is someone that I think
oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I also do think, and especially when you sent the new point system, I think the number 1 choice to hug Jeff is going to be Aubrey.
True.
Really? Okay, interesting.
I think
she's done it before.
Aubrey has hugged Jeff without his permission.
Yeah,
she has rushed Jeff.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel like Aubrey is someone who I think this is the best position she's been going into a returning season. Like you said, like she played 3 times too close. It's the Amanda Kimmel thing of like, oh, if you just like spread out your play a little bit more, maybe you wouldn't be as big a threat. I mean, look at a lot of the players who have come back after years and years and years. They're never the biggest threat because it's been so long. And I think that's the good thing with Aubrey, because also there are male archetypes that are also similar to Aubrey that are also recent players like Charlie. You know, I feel like everyone, you know, she has so many different archetypes that are similar to hers that have played more recently than her. Charlie, Christian, and then the ones you said, Camilla, Genevieve. So I think she's the best position she's ever been for returnee. The only thing is she is still Aubrey, and I do think there are still people that are aware of her threat, just like Suri, where it's like, how do you let her get that far? Because she does have the case where I think if Aubrey's sitting in the end, she wins no matter what. I think there's a few players that I could count on one hand that if they're in the end, they win. That aren't just the winners. I think if the winners get to the end, it's like, how can you not? Like you made it to the end twice. That's amazing. And you know, but I think next to that, it's like Suri, Aubrey, and maybe a few other people that I think if they're just in the end, they win just because it's legacy based as well. So I think it's a good pick. The only thing that has me a little hesitant about winner status is just that Survivor has been, you know, promoting the crap out of the season, and they ran those like 10 episodes leading up. And Aubrey was in one of them in Rick's episode, but she was a juror because she was on the edge of extinction. I don't think, you know, she has been a big primary focus on the marketing, whereas Suri has been all over it. I don't know if Aubrey has been. I just don't know. Or maybe they're trying to add to that kind of gameplay of like she's going to be underestimated because it's been so long. Maybe they're just bigger, more flashier characters that she's going to be able to hide behind. But I'm really excited for Aubrey. I'm excited to see her get another go because her last go was so disastrous. And you know, I was very critical of that game, obviously, but I think she has very big upside to really surprise. But Matt, I know you're like number one Aubrey fan here. So what do you think of Aubrey?
I'm in a similar position as Austin, where they were my top two in terms of who could win and who I wanted to pick. I think that I think I'm even in the same camp where Suri was my heart pick and Aubrey is my head pick for in terms of who could win. I'm such a big fan that even Dylan criticizing her last gameplay bothers me a little bit. I think she did great. It was circumstances. Anyway, it sucks that the person who got her isn't here for us to yell at.
Yeah, I can't wait to pick his brain at the cast assessment and see why Aubrey. Because also Zach hasn't watched her seasons, so I'm curious. Right. He's going purely off of a pregame press, I guess. But yeah.
And so yeah, I'm just when it came to who I want to win this season, there are three names. Two of them have been said now.
I'll say the third one next, Matt. Don't worry.
So yeah. I love Aubrey. I'm excited that she's coming back. I think that Austin was spot on with his assessment in terms of why she could win. And I'm very excited. I was hoping that she would be as underrated or undervalued as I hope she is on the show, that she could sneak by. I was hoping that was going to be the case in this draft as well, so that I could snag her on the way back, but that was never going to happen.
If you somehow got Aubrey with 12th pick,
I know, right?
That would have been insane.
I was hoping that people were thinking like differently. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Ingrid, thoughts on Aubrey?
Well, I've been obsessed with Aubrey since I was in high school, so there's that. But okay.
You can hold it.
I think that especially the way that we do fantasy points, Aubrey's a great pick whether she wins or not, because she's a narrator. She is capable of winning immunity. She is like great physically. She's like somebody who calculates risk and reward. So I don't think she's going to lose her vote a lot or like things like that. Like, so I think just in general, she's going to get a lot of points as long as she's around. My biggest concern is the queue of it all.
Yeah.
My biggest concern is that these people put this poor woman on a tribe with him. And I don't know which way
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
People are going to swing, because there is a very real reality where somebody like Genevieve looks at a guy like Q and says, I'd rather work with him than with her, and gets rid of her early. That is like my biggest nightmare about Aubrey. in my mind is that something like that could happen. But if that doesn't happen, then I think she is in for a deep run and could do very well. I want nothing more than for her to do well. But as soon as I saw Q and Aubrey on the same season, let alone on the same tribe, I was like, oh my God. They knew exactly what they were doing when they did that. And it's not going to end well for one of them at minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If Q says big mistake in reference to Aubrey, I'm going to need a new TV because I'm going to have broken mine.
That is so funny. I didn't think of that. Carly, as the biggest Q fan here, what do you think of Aubrey?
That was the first thing I thought of when we were talking about Aubrey. I was like, I couldn't remember. I was pretty sure they were on the same tribe, and I was
on the same tribe.
He is the only thing that will probably bring her down early. Other than that, she's a really good pick. I recently rewatched Korong, and like she's fantastic on that season. I like Michelle, and I like that Michelle won, but Aubrey is fantastic. Don't shake your head, Matt.
I like Michelle also, and I never want her to feel like she shouldn't have won. I don't think she should have won.
Oh man.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah. I have the next pick, and I'm very glad because my number one would have been Suri, just because I think she's going to go deep, and I love her, and she's my winner pick and all. But I have two winner picks that I made very, very early on, and I think I've simmered on them a bit in this preseason. Whereas there's one that I was like, but this person could be a cool wild card winner pick. And the more I've like thought about the preseason, how excited they are for the season, and if we're reading into this whole like build up to 50 showing all these episodes, there's not many people who got 2 episodes that feature them. There's only one that got 3, and it's the man, the myth, the legend, the Dragon Slayer, Coach Wade. I think Coach, here's the thing. I do not love Coach. I did not like him on his first season. I thought he was like just so overbearingly annoying. His second season, I really liked him because he was not the main character and he was kind of fun fodder for like Boston Rob and stuff. The third season, I didn't like him very much, but it's because he ran such a dominant game. I was annoyed just because it was also like, you know, the whole like manipulation by a religion thing. But then seeing him get his comeuppance and seeing Sophie beat him, I kind of love that arc for him. But now it's kind of the Aubrey thing. It's been so long. And I think people just remember the crazy Coach that they're not really remembering that his last appearance, he almost won the game. And if he had a better final tribal, he would have won the game. That I honestly think he has a really big upside. A lot of people, if you listen to a lot of people's foe and friends that they did with Mike Bloom, a lot of people are looking at Coach as a friend. They want to work with him probably because they don't think they can lose to him. They probably think they can beat him. But if Coach makes it to the end, it's probably because he's going to be playing a really good social game because he's not the best strategist. But I think on this season with a lot of old schoolers, a lot of new schoolers that are old schoolers at heart, like Jonathan and Joe, Coach has the best potential to win that he's ever had. Even more so than his last time, because I think this time people will actually acknowledge that like you can play a little dirty and a little slimy to win the game, whereas the last season he was on was so loyalty based with Brandon Hance that like I don't think he was going to win if he made it to the end and didn't own his game. Whereas here, I really think Coach is going to learn from his mistakes. I don't think he wins the game, but I think Coach, there's not a world where I see him going out early because I don't think people are going to see him as chaotic as they did back then. And even in those seasons, they saw him as chaotic, but he still made the merge every time. Or not made the merge, but made the jury. So I do think Coach has a really big upside on this season. I don't think he's going to win, but of all the men on the season, I think he is, for me, the most likely to, just because of his whole arc on all his seasons. I think he is well equipped to make it far. People want to work with him in these preseason interviews. And CBS aired his Token Teens episode, his boot episode, one of my favorite episodes where he's just walking around Exile Island with his staff. They aired the premiere of Heroes vs. Villains, which has some great Coach moments, especially with Colby and Coach in the challenge. And they aired the South Pacific finale where Coach lost and the whole Coach Ozzy dynamic. So I think they're really going hard on Coach this season. I think of anyone on this preseason, he is the most marketed person by Survivor 50. I think that at least means confessionals, challenges, run deep in the game, even if he's our fire-making loser, even if he's 5th or 6th place. I think he's the most likely for me to make the finale. So I think that is kind of why I'm going Coach the Dragon Slayer here. But I want your thoughts on it, peoples. Matt, your thoughts on Coach?
This is no, you did not pick my third pick hopeful. In fact, this is the opposite of Suri, where Suri is my heart pick. Coach is my heart pick for losing immediately. And the reason and we have a lot of fun, but and we can laugh about everything. But if I can just be serious for just a second, I have a lot of religious trauma in my life from growing up religious, and the way he used religious manipulation on those people really, really bugs me. Brandon Hance doesn't happen without Coach. That's just true, and and so I have like personal issues with Benjamin, but also I just, he's funny and he's entertaining, and I'd love to hear in that first episode some of his bullshit stories. But I hope that's the last we hear of him, honestly. I'm sorry, Dill, but I hope that you lose your first pick very early.
He's older, he's wiser. I think the Dragon Slayer is gonna. I think it'll warm up to you, Matt. I'm just kidding. We all have that one.
If Coach is an early exit, I will throw something at my TV because I need him to interact with Q. I need him to interact with everyone.
You better hope Q's not an early exit, though.
I need to skip that episode. Is what needs to happen.
Yeah,
I think it's a great pick. I think you're gonna get lots of points out of it.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, Carly, do you think they're both gonna make the merge? I mean, that's
no, I don't. But I really want them to. I want Q's gonna leave immediately. I know it, but I need him to make it. So I think he'll be safe because there are winners there for at least one vote. But after that, I'm gonna be terrified for my boy.
Yeah, I'm not really taking tribes into account because honestly I can't commit them to memory and I don't have them in front of me. So I don't know if Coach is in a good tribe for him. But I just know there's a lot of people who want to work with him. So I feel good about it.
I'm learning all the tribes as you guys
Camilla, and that is really good for him because all of Camilla's preseason and stuff, she's like,
I'm going to do whatever Coach tells me to.
She's like, me and Coach are going to be on the island together the whole time, and we'll do whatever he wants. I don't have a say in any of it. It does not matter to me.
Coach is Camilla's favorite player of all time. She is going to
simp for him.
Yeah.
Which is good for him.
That's amazing.
These tribes are not random, right? CBS definitely engineered them, correct?
CBS, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because there's no way that Q and Aubrey end up on a tribe together.
They're going to open pouches for their buffs, but the pouches are, you can see in one of the promo pictures I posted, Jeff next to all the buffs, and they're labeled with names.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're predetermined. Because I was going to say the odds of Camilla ending up with her favorite player and Aubrey and Q being on the same tribe, I'm like, okay.
No.
But hey, there's going to be a swap, I hope. I hope there's a swap. We voted for a swap, right?
I love Camilla so much, and the fact that Coach is her favorite player is disappointing.
I totally understand the religious part of it.
Yeah.
I really, really do. But I do also think that he has great longevity in this game.
Oh, I think he's going to get lots of points off him. I just hope he doesn't.
I don't think he could win. I really don't. Even if I don't think
Coach is a first boot anyway. I don't know who would be like, we need to get Coach out immediately.
Well, okay. What if it's Coach and then Mike White, who has so much money, and then
he's on. They're on the same tribe.
Stephanie LaGrossa, who's a super MAGA.
They're not on that tribe.
But is that if that's a final
that's
three?
Going to matter to them.
But if that's the final three, I think
don't speak that into existence. What?
Yeah, I will say if Coach is in the final three with Mike White and Steph, I don't know. Steph could still pull it out, but
we'll see. We'll have to see what they do.
I mean, if Coach is in the end with a Jonathan, I don't know how good Jonathan's social game is going to be to get votes.
That's right. He gets angry.
I think there's a path, but I don't know that it's the path he's going to take.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I hope the path involves a lot of desert sand and a walking stick. Regardless. Any other thoughts on Coach specifically?
I also hated him at first. I love him now. Mainly for the memes and for just the personality, but I do respect your viewpoint, Matt. That that religious season makes me feel really icky, and I'm really glad he did not win that because that would have been even worse if he had gotten $1 million out of it.
Yeah.
You guys should see the messages between me and Dylan while I was watching South Pacific. Because I was also binging Big Brother at the same time. And let me tell you, during the seasons that I was watching Big Brother and Survivor at the same time, Jesus was a player in a lot of these games, a lot of seasons. Jesus was there amongst them a lot. And so It was a wild
So
time.
were you
Yeah,
watching
I
Big
was
Brother 9 and Survivor South Pacific at the same time?
Oh my god.
pretty
That's
close.
9.
That's
What's
a
the
rough
other
time.
super? I think it's
Big Brother 8.
16 or
16 maybe with Derek. I don't
I
know.
think-
Not Derek.
No,
Oh.
16's the racist season, isn't it?
15 is.
No, that's 15.
15. Yes, 15. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure
can't-
there's like a God Squad or something in season 9 though.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
yes.
There's an alliance
The Holy
named
Spirit is
after
on our
like
team.
Jesus or something.
Well, 16 has Jocasta too, who I
Yes.
think was like a preacher. So, anyways, Ingrid, you are up next. Who are you gonna pick
Yeah,
for
she's
your first
cheating.
pick? Oh,
All
sorry.
right, so hold on 2 seconds.
I can just write in Savannah if you want.
No, even though I'm obsessed with her, not yet.
I'm kidding.
I'm
Sorry, and
going
Savannah
to-
watches the show, so I will just say I'm doing it at her expense just because it's fun and we poke fun. But we love Savannah.
Savannah, we love you so much.
Oh, I love Savannah.
So
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah,
and
I'm just
amazing.
saying because being a back-to-back winner or winner going on another season prior where no one knows you won but probably thinks you won is we'll talk about it when we get there. But I feel like they set her up for failure. But we'll talk to her when we get there.
All right,
Ingrid,
Hey, she could have said no.
so true.
Should have to.
you can't say no.
Who says no to
Anyway.
50?
I know.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting like traumatized from my job and nobody listening while I'm trying to talk. So sorry for those who don't know, I teach middle school. But I'm gonna go with somebody who kind of very beautifully fits the archetype of a all-star season winner, in my opinion. Austin already crossed the box, you know what I'm saying. And I'm going to pick Tiffany from 46 because she is very much this pick where people are like, why are you here? And nobody's really talking about her preseason. And I do think that's to her benefit. Like, yes, there are these people that people are like, oh, I love them. I want to work with them, blah, blah, blah. But like, nobody's going to be looking at her early on, which I think will allow her the ability to maneuver in a way that could get her to the end and potentially a win. You think like an Amber, like a Sarah Lucina on their seasons, like they were not the person that anybody was looking at. And like, obviously Amber is helped by Rob a lot, but like, I think a lot about like Sarah Lucina, especially. Those are the types of people that go far. Whether she wins or not, I think that she will be there for quite a while. It'll be interesting to see if her and Q link up at any point. Her and Charlie are on the same tribe, so I'm not super sure how that's going to play out. I do think people are going to be wanting to get rid of Charlie before her, just in terms of threat. Oh,
get Matt back in a sec.
Just in terms of threat level, I think that like people are going to be looking at Charlie before they look at her. So I think that I can't ignore, especially when like most of the like popular big names that I know Austin and I have been talking about are off the board. I can't ignore her positioning as well as like what type of person she is on this cast.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good pick. I think of like all the returning seasons. It's like Amber, Parvati, Sarah Lucina, Tyson, like even Tyson. Yeah. I'm like all these players that were not huge like strategist players. I mean, Tyson was a big character, but I think the only one who wasn't was Tony. In terms of like these big returning seasons. So I think it's a good pick for that case. My only worry is if she's not the winner and she doesn't make the end, I'm worried that like if she goes like 5th, 6th, 7th place, she might just be kind of purpled in a way. Not purpled because it's season 50, but like definitely not the focus of the narrative.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing is like they cast her because of the Francesca Phillip thing of having Q there because they were big rivals. But in preseason, they've all been like, no, I'd work with Tiffany. And Tiffany's like, no, I'd work with Q. So I'm like, okay, so CBS kind of fumbled there, like where like I feel like they're not getting what they wanted. But that could all change once we get there, obviously. You know,
absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's a good pick. I think she was a lot of people's winner pick just on first glance, just because it's like she's the most underestimated for sure. So I like that pick. I like the pick.
I think there's 2 or 3 people on her tribe that are going to be targets before her. I don't want to like tip off picks or anything. But like just looking at her, because I have the tribes in front of me, there's at least 3, maybe 4 people that I would think would be targeted before her. So I think she at least has longevity on her side, if not anything else. So yeah,
and this isn't a proper draft day, so if you want to mention names, that's okay too. Like I think everyone knows kind of where they want to go with their first.
We've all
picks.
got the list,
Yeah. So I feel like it's okay.
Mike White and Dee and potentially even Charlie, and Camilla as well. And I think depending on what happens with other people, Camilla could be a target early, but I don't know.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
What I will say, to go into that a little bit, when Dalton Ross did the whole little thing that he did with they had to write down who they wanted to vote out first, there were only 3 New Era people whose name was not written down at all. And Tiffany was one of those 3 women.
Yeah.
So I think it does just go to this idea of like no one's looking at her right now.
Yeah. 3 New Era people or 3 New Era women?
3 New Era women, but
Cool.
but literally 3 New Era people, and they're all women.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
nice. That's good for her. And she's a local New Jersey.
Most of the people written down were New Era.
Nice.
Because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people pre-season 40 that also were not written down as first boots.
Interesting.
So
good season to be an old
3
schooler.
people pre-40 and then
I got you.
3 people post-40 not written.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's kind of the inverse of what season 40 was, where I feel like 40, all the big names were old schooler, whereas here, a lot of the big names are old schooler in terms of character, but I think the threats are kind of coming from the New Era, I would think. Save from a few. But Matt, what are your thoughts on Tiffany?
I don't have a whole lot of thoughts. I love her. That's pretty much my main thing. I think she's I think I agree she has longevity. I'm not sure exactly where else points are gonna come. I don't know. Maybe she was she like really? Did she have like a lot of confessionals? Like I don't know.
I feel like she did.
She doesn't feel like someone who does a lot of talking. So, but that doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to come up with things to talk about, I think. But I love her, and that's the important thing. And oh my God, I just realized how perfect Coach would be on White Lotus, and it upsets me.
We'll see.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Carly, since you're named after the Anu tribe there, Carly the Mermaid Dragon, what are your thoughts on Tiffany?
She's my winner pick. I think, Ingrid said it perfectly about like how she's just the type of person to win these type of seasons. She doesn't cause drama. She's under the radar. She's smart. Like I think it'd be great. Kenzie and Tiff can hang out with their $1 million winnings together. So yeah.
And then Q and Banu will win the Amazing Race next year. That's how that'll go.
God.
Austin, you're next. What are you gonna go with for your first pick?
Oh yeah, my pick. Okay.
Yeah, you're not just picking for Zach. You get your own say here too.
Yeah. I get my own say sometimes. Got it. I need to look at who's left really quick here and see what I want to do.
Other people could get points also.
No, I know. I'm not thinking winner anymore. I'm thinking points. And I'm going to do, because I'm thinking points, I'm going to do something very different than every draft I've done so far with all the people I do like just winner pick drafts with. And I'm going to pick a man. Every single draft I've done is like 9 women, 3 men on my team. Like I am very pro the women this season. But in terms of points here, I am going to be taking who I think is probably almost pretty safe to get to towards the end game, if not the very end. And I could not figure out how to mark up this freaking picture.
Just say it.
Anyway,
then go back.
yeah. I'll be taking Joe Hunter.
That's a good one.
Nice.
I'm not necessarily Joe's biggest fan, but I think they watched Survivor 48 3 days before they flew out to play this season. And Genevieve has said it in a lot of her preseason stuff to where like no one is better positioned going into the season than Joe. Everyone saw how loyal of a player he was, and they're going to be thinking about that, and that's going to appeal to both the new school and the old school players. And it's just a matter, like, I'm looking at his tribe, like, he's got, like, Savannah potentially in front of him to be a boot because people are so worried about the 49 thing. I think he'll get along well with Sari. I think he could get along well with Ozzy. Like I also
Ozzy
just
for
don't see
sure.
that like Joe and Ozzy on the same tribe. I don't know that
I don't see
tribe's
them
going
losing
to
a
tribal
lot.
council very often.
Yeah.
Early on. Yeah, I think Joe's going to be able to just like get along with a lot of these people, and the show obviously loves him, so I think we're going to get a lot of Joe content. And I think if they do try to target the 48-3, I think they're targeting Kyle and Camilla before they're targeting Joe.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Austin, you did take him. I know you say you're not the biggest fan, but you also took him in our draft day.
I was about to make that same point. Yeah.
With your locked in, like, knowledge is power lock in
Yes,
the first round.
I did want to switch it. However, I was not allowed to. I got locked into Joe.
Yeah, it's a good pick though. I mean, he is the new new era, the hero of the new era for Jeff at least. So he's the hero of the new era. So I feel like you're gonna get a lot of screen time, just like I'm trying to think of equivalents in other seasons, but just like kind of Rupert got a lot of screen time in the All-Star seasons. He's a very different character than Rupert, but it's the Tom Westman, Rupert Colby thing of like you're just the good, like kind-hearted, fan favorite, but he lost so bad in the end and fumbled the bag so bad that like no one's looking at him as a winner threat, which is I think the best position you could be in for a new era player. Is like I really want to work with you because you're loyal and I know I can beat you. Like that's like who you want to be going in. But the problem is I think he could win. I think he could fix some things. The only thing is he has the Aubrey thing of like he just played, so like is he going to be able to fix his end game? Or the Amanda thing, I should say. Or if he makes it to the end, is he going to be able to change it up in the final tribal if he should get there? So I think he's looking at maybe ceiling for me runner up, only because I don't know if he has a killer instinct to win the game. But if he's with like Coach and Jonathan, or like
he is currently. I've done like so with the Survivor Club I run at school. We do like so with all my class I have them like try to pick a winner, but with my kids in Survivor Club we do like winner, second, third, first boot, merge boot, like things like we try to predict all that. And I still have not fully locked in all of my predictions, but I have locked in Joe Hunter as third place.
Period. So you think he's getting like no votes again? Well, he got one vote, I think. Yeah. Did he get one vote last season?
No.
21?
No.
He didn't get any.
Eva got 2, Kyle got the rest.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, Joe, fall from grace.
His one vote was also in the tribal with him.
Eva. Right. Yes, Eva would have been his
if he was going to get a vote, it was going to be from her.
Yeah.
Well, and he probably would have gotten all of the votes that went to her.
Yeah, he's my second ranked man on the board. Actually, my top 6 in terms of like my boot list, 5 of those 6 have already been said. Sari, Coach, Tiffany, Joe, and Aubrey. So it's definitely how I thought this first round would go. But yeah, that's a good pick. Carly, any thoughts on Joe?
Yeah, I think he's a good pick. Like he's new era, but he's also really old school. I think he could work with anyone pretty much. And like I feel like he doesn't. I feel like people think of him so separately from Kyle and Camilla because they have that duo thing. So I don't think people are going to target him as part of that trio. I don't think they'll think of it like that. But yeah,
I don't even think he thinks of himself as part of that trio.
Right.
And I think Kyle and Camilla think he is part of that trio.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Matt?
Yeah, I agree. I think that if Eva was there, then he would have a much worse time. As far as like, I think he's a good pick. I think that he has longevity. I think that I'm not as interested in him without Eva, just personally. But I think as far as points go, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. Ingrid, thoughts on Joe Hunter? Any last thoughts?
Yeah. See, I'm going to say kind of the opposite of Matt and say that I am more interested to see him without Eva because I feel like when Eva was there, he felt like he was representing something bigger than himself. And also with the way that he was like trying to remember his sister and like show his kids how like good of a person he is or whatever he was trying to do. Like, I think that it's going to be really interesting to see him come back. But also it's so soon that I don't know that he's going to change a lot about his game, but I'm interested to see him like not feel like there's somebody there he needs to protect.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
I think
Joe
it'll be a
Joe.
different, I think it'll be like his allies are going to have a slightly different relationship with him than he did with Eva. I think he'll still be very loyal to them, but it's not going to be in such a way where he feels like he needs to fall on the sword for them. Like, he did before. I think that him and Colby on the island together would be so cool if they both, survive this first tribal phase. They're not on the same tribe. Because I really feel like they mirror each other in a lot of ways. And that, like, what everybody's saying about, like, he bridges the gap between the old and new school players beautifully. And so I think he is very, very well positioned. It's just a matter of, can somebody like Genevieve, who is talking about getting rid of him, get people to want to do that? If she can't, then I think he's here for a long, long, long time.
I will say that I do agree with Ingrid on that. I am interested in seeing him, like, how he plays without Eva. The thing that I was saying was
I did love him.
I hated him until the Eva thing happened. Like, I didn't hate him. I just didn't care about him at all until the Eva thing happened. So, like, right now, I have very little interest in him, but I'm interested to see if I have interest in him as a player.
That's fair. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Carly, you're going to get the last pick in this round, and then you're going to get another pick after that. But who is going to be your first pick here in the draft?
All right. So I had two people in my top tier. The first was Suri, and the second was this woman, this beautiful woman. And I don't know if it's the smartest pick because of her threat level, but I do love her, and I think she can go far if she can manage that. So I'm picking Genevieve.
Dang. Okay, yeah.
Yep, I knew you'd be a little disappointed. She's so smart, and like the way her arc went in season 47, I'm so curious to see how she's going to navigate making friends and like getting close to people and not just like immediately cutting them, because like that's something that she really struggled with in her first season. She's just so smart, and I can see her racking up confessionals. I can see her being like engaged with stuff. I don't remember exactly what her tribe looks like. I don't know how much trouble she'll be in after they cut the first winner, but I do like her a lot. And I this part of this might just be more heart, more hoping she goes deep than thinking she might, but I still want to pick her.
Yeah, she was one of my two, like, when they announced the cast, I was like, this is my old era and new era winner picks, and she was my new era just because I love her. But I think the more I've watched, the more I've realized that her best blessing is that she has no one else from her season on, and I think she could hide if she wanted to because she is kind of a free agent. But the bad news is, like, she's a free agent, but she's not a free agent like character. She's a free agent like strategist that people might just be like, she's an easy out. And I think if she kind of has the Suri thing of like, the first few weeks are going to be her toughest because she's not the biggest challenge threat and she's a big strategic threat. If she can get past that, though, if she could get past the swap, like, she could be really dangerous. And I really hope she is because I really love her. She's my favorite of all the new era players here. So she's the one I'm rooting for the most next to Suri on the season. So I really hope she has a deep run in her. I have her right now being like the mergatory early merge portion where I just have that hope diction that she'll get there. But then, like, how far can you take her? The thing is, she hasn't practiced fire. So I'm like, I think her ceiling is like 4th place for me. But man, I'm hoping there's a world where her and Suri somehow make Final Four, and the two of them have to make fire, and it's like whoever wins. Because then it's like, you know what, two people who notoriously either can't make fire or haven't practiced a lot, and it'll either lead to Suri's win or Genevieve getting a shock win. I don't know. I really love Genevieve though, and I hope she can at least like find an idol and make some big move early on to at least guarantee she makes it at least a few episodes, because I don't know how many boots we're going to get per episode. I'm assuming 2 per episode, at least in this early portion. I know we're probably getting 3 in the premiere alone. So I really, really hope Genevieve is there at least a few episodes to get some confessional points, because I think she's a great confessionalist, great storyteller. Would have been my next pick. So
did she have any episodes in the episodes they were airing before?
No, they didn't show any 47 episodes.
Operation Italy.
No, they didn't. They showed 46. They showed the D episode where she blindsides Drew, and then that was 45. 46 they showed hide and seek, and then 48 they showed the episode where they blindsided Shaheen. So no Genevieve there. And I believe those are the only new era representations. So again, not a great sign, but also she is the only player from that season, whereas I think the other ones like 48 has a few, 46 has a bunch, 45 has 2, even though Emily wasn't in that
48
episode.
and 46 have the same amount, Dylan.
Yes. I don't want to acknowledge it. No, but I do think I don't necessarily know. The problem is like Aubrey's been on so many seasons that her not being one of the 10 episodes is a little worse than Genevieve. But I think either way, it's a glaring red flag for both. But again, it could just be CBS marketing doesn't know the results of the season, or just going based on who the biggest names are going in. I don't know. I don't want to read into it too much.
I will say,
I have read into it a lot.
Jeff has said, I read an interview recently, Jeff has said that they picked those 10 seasons before they started filming 50.
Beautiful. All right.
Or,
there you go.
Or while they were on location, one of the two.
Perfect. All right.
Either
well, then that makes me feel better.
after or before it started.
All right. So Genevieve, you're still alive, and I hope you win. I really do. It hurts.
I just now remember that.
Those are my two hope dictions. If anything can happen in a beautiful world, those two are the final two. So in a surprise final two. Any thoughts on Mother Vive, Ingrid, Austin?
Yeah.
Matt?
So you guys were asking about her tribe.
Well, I was going to say that.
And in my opinion, and you can add to this, I guess. In my opinion, she's on a weird tribe.
Her tribe's going to tribal, in my opinion, a lot.
She's on a weird tribe, and it's hard. Like she's got a lot of characters on her tribe, and so I don't know how they're going to navigate her and how she's going to navigate them.
Just to set the board for you guys, her tribe, the men on her tribe are Colby, Rizzo, Q, and Kyle.
Oh no!
And the women are herself, Steph LaGrossa, Aubrey Bracco, and Angelina.
Oh, no.
So that's the tribe. That's the tribe that doesn't have Jonathan or Ozzy, right?
Weirdest tribe makeup, in my opinion. But the thing is, like we kind of saw, she does gravitate towards some players that she feels are like not that strategic. So like there is a world where like her and Q work together, or
I'm really trying to figure out I'm really trying to figure out this tribe division where they put Jonathan on one tribe, Joe on a different tribe, and then it wasn't Ozzy that they matched up as like the equal to
like
them.
Kyle.
It's like Q or Kyle that they matched up as the equal challenge piece.
Q should not be.
Yeah, Q's tribe lost every challenge.
So did Stephanie. Like this tribe is cursed. Like Genevieve needs to survive to a swap and hope that the fans voted for a swap.
See, I think she might do well on that. She's so smart. I think she will be able to survive. It's just a matter of when the swap is, if there is one.
Her and Aubrey being on the same tribe is kind of scary. Because it's like,
are
they going to work well together, or is it going to be a her and Rachel situation where it's like, we can't both be here? Because we're both too strategic for the other person.
I think Q is automatically in Genevieve camp, I would imagine, if that was a split. And then I think Colby and Steph are so old school that I feel like Genevieve could easily swindle the two of them. I think Rizzo is going to be the biggest danger there, because Rizzo is smart and they don't know he's smart. They could think he's just there because he's the Riz god. He's a character, but I think they're going to be like, oh wait, he's an actual strategist, because he was the biggest strategist on the season. So I think that's going to be my danger is Rizzo. And I think Rizzo could either be like, Genevieve, we have to work together. Aubrey, Genevieve, the three of us have to be the strategy core and get out the wild cards like Q and Stephanie LaGrossa. Or they're going to be the ones who like buckle down, and Rizzo buckles down and gets her out. I don't know.
I'm curious how much of the pre-40 versus new era occurs.
Is going to matter,
And if this idea of like they do target the winners right away, I think that's a bad move for Genevieve. Like I think if they take out Kyle, now you have given the numbers to Colby, Steph, Angelina, and Aubrey if those four do decide to come together.
Oh, for sure.
Though I don't imagine Colby and Angelina coming together based on a lot of the preseason stuff. But
what a disastrous tribe. My only thing is like I think we'll get a tribe swap pretty early, maybe a 2021 we'll get a 7-7-7.
And then Genevieve needs a good swap there.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Matt, what are your thoughts on
I'm just worried a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, thoughts on Genevieve, Mother Vive?
You guys probably remember I was not a big Genevieve fan during her season. But I think this is a great pick. I think she has potential to get a lot of points for Carly. She is the person I worry about the most. Like because I'm not like a fan of hers, like I'm not rooting for her. I worry about her more than anyone else, especially being on the tribe with Aubrey, because of what you said. Like that tribe may not be big enough for the two of them, you know. And to answer the question about why this tribe makeup, it's because they've always got to have a disaster tribe, and
True.
this is it.
Yeah.
8 disasters on the same tribe though is kind of insane.
How dare you call Aubrey a disaster?
I love her. She can be a disaster as well.
Yeah, because you also
I'm
have,
one
we
of
haven't
those
even talked about like Angelina. I mean, like,
hey,
Angelina's chaotic.
Enough.
When
I
she
won't
is
tolerate the
chosen,
slander.
when she
Listen,
is chosen, I will yap.
She will be chosen in this round. Don't worry. Carly, you do have the first pick of this next round though. So what are you going to pick as your back-to-back pick?
I will say I'm not picking Angelina, but she's one of the two I was deciding between because she is in my top 6.
Don't put it out there.
But because I was looking over the cast again, and when I saw Angelina's name, I just giggled. I was like, yes, I love her. I'm so excited to see her. But my actual pick will be Emily. I'm picking Emily.
Emily flippin'.
I think she has that good middle ground of like she is going to have some threat level to her, I think, but I feel like there's so many other people that are higher threats than her. And luckily she's not on the disaster tribe. So
praise the Lord. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, I know. I think she's just gonna be smart enough to go be under the radar, just kind of, speak up when she needs to. But I don't think she's gonna put a target on her back. And she learned a lot from her first time playing. So I think that's gonna be very helpful for her as a second time player. Just having such a tumultuous first season, I think that'll help her a lot.
Yeah, she's the most recent interview I listened to of this whole cast. And I do think it's funny because I think she kind of wants to be like, I don't care about the growth. I want to be true to who I am. And I worry about that. But the thing is, this is a season, though, where you do have Q, you do have Coach, you do have Angelina, you have Rizzo, you have a lot of people who have egos. And I do think Emily's natural, neutral, authentic personality is not necessarily a mean one. She's very blunt. And I do think this cast knows that and can appreciate that. If she's on a season with all newbies, I think she struggles always early, but I think because people know who Emily is, they know her thing. I think most people, even if she comes out the gate like she did last time, I don't think people are going to be as quick to target her like they were last time as they are this time. They'll just be like, "Oh, that's Emily. She'll ease up as we go," and I do think she will. I do think she will ease up as she goes. The biggest thing I have against Emily is D, because I don't know if I'm worried Emily doesn't want to work with D, whereas a lot of these other seasons, a lot of the players want to work together. Like the David versus Goliath 3 are very close. Stephanie and Suri, even though they've had beef and stuff, are probably going to work together. They're very close. Ozzy and Suri. Yeah, exactly. And I do worry that in D and Emily's case, I think D might want to work with Emily. I don't think Emily wants to work with D. And I worry that, she's going to be so hung up on I think she could be what Jenna was in All Stars, and either succeed in doing that and being like, these are the big threats, let's take them out. Because she was very outspoken about like, why are you here? Why is this person here? Like, we got to get him out. And I worry that if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, that could be dangerous for Emily. But there is a world where Emily slides under the radar because she's just not as big a threat as everyone else. I think in terms of placement, maybe next to Tiffany, I think she has the worst. Her Christian have like the worst placement, individual placement, 7th or 8th or whatever. So I think she actually has a really good like place to hide if she wants it. I just hope her mouth doesn't get her in trouble. But even then, I think a lot of people's mouths are going to get them in trouble this season, that I hope Emily can kind of scoop by and learn from that last mistake. I think she's a huge wild card though. Like I could see her being pre-merge. I could see her being the first boot, the like fire making loser. I could see her winning. Like I really think Emily's has the highest floor, lowest ceiling as well. So yeah, I think Emily could very high variance player. Austin and Ingrid, what do you think of Emily?
Yeah, I think I like the Emily pick more than the Genevieve pick personally in terms of longevity. Just in my brain going into it, Emily is also one of the 3 new eras not listed for a first boot by people. And I do think, like, to be fair, I think Genevieve got 1 vote and it was from Camilla. And it was like out of like there can't be 2 Canadians that are good at puzzles here. Like that was literally Camilla's reasoning for saying Genevieve. I think Emily is a solid pick. I think she's solid to make the merge. Looking at her tribe, I do think so. Her tribe is Joe, Savannah, Christian, Suri, Ozzy, herself, Rick Devens, and Jenna Lewis. and I do think that she kind of will be fine there. One, I think that tribe's going to win a lot.
Yeah.
Again, as I said earlier,
Ozzy and Joe. I mean that's it.
Savannah is there too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
probably
Record.
one of the like her
Rick
and
Devens is there.
Rick Devens is pretty good at challenges. But I also think in the same breath, Savannah, Rick Devens, depending on how Jenna Lewis comes out and plays this, like these are all people that I could see going before Emily. As in terms of like either big threats or like we'll talk more about some of it later on when the people are picked. But I don't know. I think Emily is like, as long as she's just like not doing the most, she'll be fine.
Yeah, and
I'm
you mentioned
so
how
worried about her doing the most.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You mentioned
I
that no one's targeting her out the gate in terms of the first vote out, but also they think she's the fun Margarita dancing Emily. They don't know she's reverting back to the OG.
Right.
So
and that's my biggest concern with Emily is, and we've met Emily in person twice, actually relatively recently back to back. Because she's been coming to some of the Baltimore Survivor events.
And I assume she'll be at the
I'm
Power
sure,
Plant one.
I would be surprised if she wasn't at the Power Plant Live one that's coming up. But like she is so sweet, she's so humble, like all these things, but she clearly doesn't want to be that on the island. And that makes me very nervous because people fell in love with that. They fell in love with her arc, they fell in love with her growth, and like that's what they want out of her. And I understand that like she doesn't want to pander, but sometimes in Survivor you have to pander. And so like I'm worried that she's going to get in her own way, trying to revert back to the like outspoken person she was at the beginning of 45. I think those first couple of rounds are going to be the most important rounds for her to try to survive, just kind of like it was in 45, where like early on I do think like what you guys are saying, that she will likely fizzle out in terms of like intensity. But I also think part of the reason that happened was because she was targeted so heavily and her tribe lost so many times, and she was kind of desperate for connection and for allies if she wanted to stick around. So if she is on this tribe and she's safe and is outspoken, I think that could get her in trouble later on. But yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts on Emily? I mean, flipping.
I love Emily. And she was, and I think Ingrid had mentioned it, like her journey. Like I didn't like her at first, but then probably along with a lot of people, and then she really, really grew on me. I think that this is a good pick because I do think that she's going to go under the radar if she is reverting back to original Emily, but everybody thinks that she's, changed Emily or whatever. So yeah, I think it's a good pick.
Cool. All right. Austin, you're back up with the next pick in the draft. What would you like?
I was between two people, and then I decided on one. And then I was between two people again, because then I saw someone hiding in the corner of the picture I've been using. And I'm back to this like heart pick versus good for points pick. And I do think I'm going to go good for points and just see if when it comes back around, the heart pick is still around.
Okay.
And I never thought I would be saying this within the top 12 picks that I am going to take this person, but it is simply because I think the upside for points is so high. I'm going to take Jonathan Young.
Okay. All right. Tell us about why. Just points?
I mean, points. I'm going to get some tribal immunity points. I'll probably get some individual immunity points. Like I just don't see people targeting him pre-merge because they want to have him on their tribe to have the highest likelihood of avoiding tribal council. And I think when they get like I think he's gonna benefit the same way of like let's see. He might be the only one who super benefits in this regard of like I don't think anyone's looking at Jonathan as someone that is smarter than them. Because he's not. But but like I think people are gonna see it. Like I think Aubrey is gonna love Jonathan. I think Aubrey's gonna see Jonathan and be like, I can manipulate him. Like So I think Jonathan, like again, could be a very easy lock for a final 3 because people just think that they'll beat him.
Yeah.
And I think along the way he's gonna win some challenges.
Yeah, no, it's a great pick for that. Like he's gonna get points regardless. I think he has the least amount of chance to win this game, maybe next to Mike White. Like I really
Yes,
do. I think Jonathan
I don't
has the
think I'm getting
second.
the 7 winner picks, but I also think he could hug Jeff. He could hug Mr. Jeff.
He absolutely will hug Mr. Jeff. Oh my god.
He will hug Mr. Jeff. They seem to think that America loves him because the Facebook America loves him, so he'll get airtime. Like
You really just picked the two Facebook casuals back to back,
I
Joe and
really
Jonathan.
did.
Austin, you're getting so many challenge points. Yeah, it's a great pick because of that. But I also worry if he is gonna just like skate by. If he's in the final 3, but it's because people are just like not threatened by him and they're just kind of using him as a number. I could see him getting Troyzand and getting like purpled. That's my worry. Is like you don't get many professionals
because
even on his season where he made it to 4th, he still didn't get a lot of confessionals because he also was so visible in tribal councils and in the challenges.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm glad he got him. I would not have, but I also if it was him and a few other people and there were 3 picks left, me, Zach, and Matt in the end, and maybe I would have. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm taking him for points, man.
Yeah, Ingrid, you seem to have a very visceral reaction to Jonathan. What do you think?
Any man who is annoyed by Marianne Oketch is no friend of mine.
Yes, thank you. That's why we're best friends, Ingrid.
Yes, I
never said I liked the
guy. I'm so glad he's on your team because
it's okay. Show him the poster you have, Austin. Show him the Jonathan poster on your wall.
I don't care that he's gonna win a lot of stuff. I don't care because I just don't like. I don't even like that he's here. I'm so sorry. I don't have a lot of positive things to say about him. I mean,
don't be sorry. You're right.
I just don't. And not to be that person, but he's a big white boy with dreads, and that is weird to me. Live your life, I guess. But like, I don't want him to be around for very long. He will be because he's going to win like every pre-merge challenge, but I don't want him to be here for very long. And I do worry that he will be for the reasons that Austin is saying, that people think they can beat him, want to take him to the end, that kind of thing. But there were so many times on 42 where he would speak and I would get upset. And so I just don't want to keep hearing him speak.
Yeah, for me, it started with the Mr. Jeff. I'm like, they're done.
Mr. Jeff was annoying, way more annoying than Uncle Jay for all of those people out there. But also like the way he handled the situation with Marianne and Drea in the split tribal, the way that he was like annoyed with Marianne is he's no friend of mine, like I said. I worry heavily about like him and Joe Hunter coming together because I feel like he'll bring the worst out in Joe, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Survivor 50 is going to be run by Joe, Colby, and Jonathan.
Yeah, and I'm going to be
Stephanie LaGrossa.
Of those 3 men, Jonathan is the worst in my opinion. So
yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you and happy for me that he's not on my team. I'm not a hateful person, I promise.
It's okay. Matt?
Jonathan is the Ingrid as coach is to me, clearly. Number one, Ingrid just put a terrible vision of Jonathan and Joe teaming up and us having to sit through a conversation between them. Sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard. Also, the way he says Mr. Jeff is so sexual, and I hope he doesn't hug Jeff. And also, I'm the only thing I kind of feel very, very similar to Ingrid, down to there. He's no friend of mine. Thank you. Stop booing her. She's right. But also, I am interested because him carrying that ladder in his season, that kind of stuff, like that was really cool imagery. And I'm excited for an episode of that. And then he can go on. Like that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, give us a cool challenge performance, and then
yes, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Austin's probably going to get some points off of this. He's absolutely not getting those 7 winner points for sure. But he's going to get some points probably off of this. So it's not a bad pick. It's just one that Ingrid and I hate. And Carly.
Yeah.
Carly, do you hate this too?
Oh, of course. I
do too.
My last year's all 3 winners and then Jonathan. Ingrid was, I don't know why you were sorry, Ingrid. You were right. So you were correct. I don't like Jonathan. He's the
sorry
only
for the
one.
internet's sake. I don't want everybody to yell at me.
He's the only one on the cast that I just don't. I want him to not be here. And like nothing against him as a person. I don't know what he's like as a person, but yeah, I like when my favorite people get to win immunities, and like if he's there after the merge, he's just gonna like win them all. And like I don't like that. I want my favorite people to win. I don't want him to win. So
I mean, I will say in 42, he was not the individual challenge piece that
I'm not as worried about
was
as
projected to be.
that's fair.
Right, because once
Lindsay won just as many, if not more than him.
He's a big boy, so like endurance challenges are not.
He's not a
for
puzzle
him.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is once you get into individual, there's a lot more endurance. There's a lot more puzzles. You're not going to.
Yeah,
he's
I'm not as
going
worried
to
about
be
that.
as
It's
awesome.
more the
But-
tribal phase.
That is fair.
But if you have him and Ozzy and Joe in the merge, maybe Jeff is like, get us those crank challenges every time. Like, let's capitalize on that. And I'm worried we'll get that because that was a lot of what Joe and David were doing on 48. There were lot of challenges.
We
like
have
that.
seen Jeff with his 50 hat doing the crank in the season preview.
Doing the crank.
I will say
probably in one. I don't think they would do it in several, knowing the different body types and stuff that they have on the cast.
I don't think it'll be 7 episodes, but
I was about to make that joke. I will say that the best thing that's ever that I've ever seen involving Jonathan is I came across a picture on Facebook once of the wrestler Ric Flair in a wheelchair, and Jonathan was pushing his wheelchair, and that's the most interesting thing about Jonathan.
That's so funny.
I think we spent way too long talking about Jonathan. So let's move on, Ingrid. What's your next pick?
Oh God, can I see the picture that you made with all the X's?
Sorry, I was getting Zach's list so that I had it to also scroll to easily.
Okay, I forgot I had to pick next, so give me a second. Okay. Thinking about head or heart again as well.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go with the person that I fear will last less, but in the time that they're there, I think they'll give me a lot of points, and I love them. And I'm going to pick Christian Hubicki.
Good pick. Good pick.
I'm so sorry, bestie. I adore Christian. He's wonderful. And I think anytime that Christian is on the island, he's going to be on screen. You know what I mean? Like he's the kind of character that Jeff loves, that the show loves, that the people love. Like he's going to have some weird robot stuff to say, and they're going to show it. And I love that for him. I'm not saying that he can't make a good run, but I'm worried because he has this high threat level. He has Angelina and Mike on this cast, which I think it was very smart to put them on 3 different tribes to start. I am worried about like that aspect of it as well. But also of those 3, he placed the lowest. So maybe there's hope because of that, even though he was voted out for being a big threat. Like there is that, well, they were able to get him at like 7. So maybe we don't have to get rid of him right now, that kind of thing. So it is kind of a fingers crossed pick for me because I love him so much. But I think there is high variance with him. I think he could go early, especially if that tribe does lose early on, but also like he's going to carry that tribe in puzzles and things as well. So like there is that upside. So it all depends on a lot of different factors, but I love him and I really want him to do well. So I'm going to hope he'll do well. And when he's on screen, I'm going to get a lot of confessional points.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I will say, we're not talking spoilers, but in the promo, he did have a beard. So we know he goes at least far enough to grow a beard. And
We're gonna
he was
grow that
talking,
beard.
and he was talking about Jimmy Fallon advantages. So like, I think there's already a good sign
Please
that he'll
tell me
at least.
that Jimmy Fallon's advantage is in the finale episode. That's all I need to know.
I think there's at least upside for him to make it past a swap, or at least make it to a point where he grows a beard, which is at least probably like on this season 18th place, maybe. Like I think he'll at least survive the first third of the game. I don't know how long
it takes a normal person to grow a beard.
I don't know. And I love Christian. I think he's great, and I think he'll soak up confessionals. I think he'll get at least one advantage. And I think of the three David versus Goliath people, he actually has the lowest. Maybe not the lowest threat level, but I think he's the person most people want to work with, though. Yes. I think if you look at the three, I think we'll talk about Mike White when we get there, but I think first instinct was going to be everyone wants to work with Mike White, but it seems that most people of the three would want to work with Christian more so than Angelina or Mike White. So
how dare you? You leave my girl alone.
Hey, listen, I'm picking her next, so I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I'll even put it on the ticker screen. We could talk about her next, but Matt, talk about Christian.
It's already there.
So I said earlier,
it's already there. I'm picking her next.
I said earlier that there were three people that I need to win. One of the three people need to win. That's Cirie, that was Aubrey, and I knew that I wasn't going to pick Cirie and then at 12 and 13 be able to get Aubrey and Cirie, but I'd hoped that Cirie or Christian would make it around, but I should have known. My bestie Ingrid had two picks between my two picks, so it was probably not going to happen. I should have realized that. I didn't.
Matt, if she had taken Angelina, I would have picked Christian too. So he was my next pick after Angelina.
I was never taking Angelina. Love and respect.
Okay. Well, you weren't getting her either way, sadly. Him either way, sadly.
Okay. Well, it still doesn't hurt less. But no, it had gotten so close to me that I was like, maybe this is going to happen.
All love and respect.
And when you were like head versus heart, I was like, I know where her heart's going. Hopefully she goes head. But he's so great. And yes, you're going to get all of the confessional stuff on him. He's going to win challenges because we talk about, I guess which tribe is he on? Is he on the disaster tribe?
He's on the Joe, Emily Flippin, Cirie tribe.
Ozzy.
Joe and Ozzy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Joe and Ozzy tribe.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win challenges, but he's also shown to be an individual challenge threat. Yes. Also, because he's smart, but he also has endurance. Like so. At least
that man on the crank. Maybe he'll win.
I am so excited. He's probably the one I'm most excited to watch. I want Cirie's my number one for winning. Aubrey is obviously up there for those three up there for winning. I'm most excited to watch him again because we've only seen him once, and so like I'm excited to see what happens with him. It sucks that I didn't get to draft him, but if anybody did, I'm glad it was my best friend.
Yay!
Carly, any thoughts on sorry, Christian? I didn't want to jump ahead. Sorry, I'm just looking at my board. I'm like, I got her.
Yeah, I love Christian. I just don't love him as much as like everyone else does. Like I'm not like he's not my favorite. I just like I'm excited to watch him play. I definitely agree he is a little bit of a riskier pick, but I think it could definitely pay off. I think this is a really good range to pick him in.
Yeah.
I love Christian Hubicki, and he's a Baltimore native.
Yes. His dad is a local pediatrician in the area.
His dad is
we're waiting to we're hoping he is still there when we have kids.
one of my coworkers, all of her kids see his name's Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe Hubicki.
Just like the one on Survivor, Dr. Joe. And then even one of my students, I was like showing them the 50 cast. And I was like, oh yeah, fun fact, like this guy's dad works at this hospital, and she was like, what's his name? And I was like, I said it, and she was like, that's my doctor. Like one of my kids in Survivor Club has him as her doctor as well. But yeah, I love him. I think he's really fun. I don't know his like odds of winning, but like he's gonna be getting lots of stream time. I think
he's gonna win 1 million hearts, regardless of anything else.
Yes, we love our Banu. And I picked her. I picked Angelina next. I think the two of them go hand in hand. The fact that being on a season with three people from the same season is scary. The good news is of all the 3 seasons where there are 4 seasons where there are 3 people represented, I think, the the 48 players, the 46 players, and the heroes versus villains players are a little bit more targeted, I would say, than the David versus Goliath players, just because it's been so long. And like the heroes versus villains, it's like Suri. So like I think for this one, it's like, you know, you have 3 people that have not played twice, and I think of the 3, Christian is probably the one.
4 heroes versus villains people.
That's true. I forgot about Coach as well. But the 3 people from the Heroes tribe. Either way, but of all these like newer like trios, I do think everyone probably wants to work with Christian the most. But that doesn't mean they don't want to work with Angelina. And I know some preseason press, some people have been saying Angelina's just scaring them. They don't really know how to read her. But I do think just with so much time, she has to have grown a little bit more. And it's kind of like the Emily thing of like she can choose if she wants to be the character and like just make good TV. In that case, I'll get the confessional points. I'll get the points for her, you know, being a character. But if not, I think she actually could win the game if she buckles down and really commits to being like, I'm this mom, I've changed. She can still have her rice negotiation ways, but I honestly don't think Angelina being a big character on David vs. Goliath, when you're on a season with Q, with Coach, with Rizgod, Rick Devens, Mike White. Like I get Mike was on her season, but I do think you have so many other big characters that I don't necessarily know if Angelina is going to stick out as much as she did on David vs. Goliath, where everyone was kind of chill. And even Mike White, who was also a big character, was like kind of a sly, kind of witty main character. So I really do think she has a good shot. I think of this cast, when they were announced, my 2 winner picks, it was Angelina for old school, Genevieve for new school, and I ultimately settled on Angelina just because I think she has the most room to change up her game and still remain undetected. And I think the problem is she is such a big personality, she might not be undetected, but I think strategically she will be. And if she can just make the right alliances, I could see a case where she surprises people at the end. I've settled on her being my, like, if in my final 3, if I'm predicting a final 3, I have Suri winning with Coach getting a few votes at second, and then Angelina being your like potential.
That final 3 would be so good.
Because I do think still ultimately she's going to have the Michelle problem of, even if she is able to prove herself, people still not maybe taking her seriously enough to win. But I do think there is a world where she could win. And I think that's cool that in a returnee season, I think if she were to come back for Survivor, what was it, like 40, if it wasn't winners, I think she would have a much worse time than she does now. So I do think there's a lot of good upside for Angelina. She could be the first boot, and that's what makes me worried. But I think right now we're at the number 10 spot. I think our people who are definitely not going home first are probably all picked, and the other ones are kind of people that aren't going to be these huge flashy characters. So I'm like, honestly, yes, she could go out first, but even if she goes out first, she's getting 10 confessionals if she does. And if she doesn't, I think there's a room for her to go pretty far. The only thing that scares me is her connections with Mike and Christian. But it sounds like Mike is the one that everyone's looking at more so than Christian and Angelina right now. So that could change once they get on the island. She has potential to surprise me in a bad way. But the only person coming for her hard is Colby, and I'm not worried about Colby. I'm not necessarily worried that Colby's going to be this master strategist. I love Colby, and I'm happy he's here. But
did he say why he wants to go for her?
He heard she's trouble, is what he said. So
I love him so much. Oh my god!
And listen, I'm very excited for Colby. It might be my next pick, but I just think Angelina is someone that she was my preseason winner pick. She's not anymore, but I wanted to pick her if I could. So I think there's 2 people I probably should have picked before her, but I'm gonna take her here and hope that I can get both of the other players on the wraparound. Let's see if I can get both my other players on the wraparound. I will tell you who they were, and I'll be very excited.
There are not many Survivor players that me and Ingrid have like polar opposite opinions on, and one of them is Angelina. I love Angelina. I love Angelina so much.
Ingrid, no.
And she hates fun. So
if there are no Angelina haters, I'm dead.
Oh no.
I love
Angelina
her.
the character. Let me be so clear.
Yeah.
Angelina the character drives me insane. I cannot stand her.
I love her. I think she's hysterical.
Nope.
I think she does have smart strategic play in her, and I just think it's really hard. She like, I really hope becoming a mom and like the more like life experience she's had since David vs. Goliath has like softened her a bit in terms of like how brash she could be and how like self-focused she could be, like at least outwardly. But I also do hope that there's some good like confessional craziness that we get out of her. But I love her. I think she's so much fun. I think if she is someone who's making the long end game, I think you do also have a high upside for some episode titles, confessional points out of her as well. I do worry if she is someone who gets sniped early, missing out on those types of points.
I mean, imagine the challenge though, where Jonathan and Angelina are fighting over a ladder because they both have iconic moments with ladders. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Ingrid, why do you not like Angelina?
She just, oh my god, she's so annoying. I just like her inability to like not let everything be about her is so annoying to me. But I also, like I said, it is Angelina the character that I dislike. And I agree with you, Dylan, that it is a really good thing that she didn't come back for 40. Like, I think that there has been lots of time for her to grow and mature and all these things. And I think that she could come out differently. And I do think that she is smart. I don't think that she's like stupid or like unstrategic. I just think that socially she's so bad. And I think that could change, like we've said. So I don't know, like for sure, but like the Natalie Can I Have Your Jacket is funny, but I also like makes my skin crawl every single time I watch it. And things like that. It's just like she makes me feel uncomfortable with how bold she is.
That's her own jacket this time.
I know. She doesn't have social anxiety, and I do, and I think that's the problem. But I do think that she to me is very high variance. Like, I agree with the people on the preseason that are like, we don't know how to read her, because I don't know. She could be that person again, and it could get her very far, or it could get her voted out really early. She could be a different person, and she could go out very early or go to the end. Like, I think she's such a wild card in my opinion. So kudos to you for picking her. I was not, for many, many, many reasons. But I do think that there is some equity for her in terms of winning and longevity.
I'm wondering, Austin will tell us if Zach was going to pick her, but Matt, were you going to pick her? I probably could have.
Me and Matt
this
is
is one of my big draft mistakes. Austin, was Zach going to pick her?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I gambled.
I feel bad for saying what I was about to say then, because I was going to be very honest with you, Dylan, and we don't usually say stuff like this on the drafts, but that's a bad pick, Dylan. That's a bad pick.
It's a great pick. Excuse you.
Carly and Austin, would you have picked it in your last pick if it had broke the round again? Okay, so I should have gotten it in the third round.
Yeah,
I took her a round early. Okay.
I just and when I say bad pick, I think she might get you some points. I also think that she feels like the most likely person to go home first. Also, so like it kind of, who knows. It's not necessarily as a bad pick. It's just not a good value pick at this point.
That's fair.
Like
I appreciate that.
I think it's a heart pick, except that I don't, because she's not in my heart.
She's pretty low. I mean, I don't have like a list made, but she's probably at the bottom. And not because, listen, here's the thing. I'm kind of right in the middle of Austin and Ingrid on this. For the first half of her of Dave versus Goliath, I loved her. I was like, she could win this game. And then she became like, then she like broke or something, because she became so annoying that I'm just like, when is she going to go away? And then she never did. And so like, I'm right in the middle. Like there's part of me that really likes her and hope if she taps into that first half of her season, maybe she can do really well. But I have a feeling that she might get voted out, not because she's a threat, but because people would like her to stop talking. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good pick. Maybe you're going to get all the points from Angelina and you got a real good value, but it's I was surprised. Like, I thought when you said I'm picking Angelina next, it was a joke. And I almost laughed until you put it on the ticker before your time even started.
Oh, I know. I knew.
Yeah,
because I know him, so I knew.
Well,
it
it's
was
also
real.
been so long since my cast assessment. I haven't actually listened to it, but I did a cast assessment when they first announced the cast in June. I want to go back and listen to exactly what I said about her because I was so like, it's her season. Like, there's no way. Like, just because it's like, no, just because like you go in expecting the character. It's kind of the Emily thing, except over the course of like 2 seasons, where I just feel like nobody's gonna be targeting her because like they're gonna think they can beat her, but also like I feel like she has enough strategic ability that she's not just gonna be there as a character like Philip was, even though Philip had a lot of character, a lot of strategy on Caramoan. So maybe she'll be Philip. Maybe she'll be a blindsided 8th place as like this big mob boss. I don't know. Carly,
I'm
Angelina.
excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, she was in my top 6, so I don't think it was too high a pick. If I'd been placed differently, it would have been a good pick because I would have sniped her from you. I almost picked her before Emily. So
Period.
I think I love her. She's so unaware in such beautiful ways. I love how socially inept she is. Like and she's so confident. Like she's just so sure of herself. And I really hope she has not lost that in the time between seasons because it's what makes me love her so much. Like, did you see? She almost died getting that idol. That was so risky.
Yes,
It's so high.
exactly.
Like she risked her life, and then she risked her survivor life by getting them rice. Like she's a hero. We need to respect her more.
Am I remembering it right? Didn't she climb too high? Like she stood above the idol, like looking for it or something.
And it wasn't even that hot.
And then drunk Mike White's like, I think it's right there.
Are you going, Zach? Are you going to complete the trifecta and take Mike White next?
No.
Okay, what are you picking next, Zach?
Zach is actually getting his 4th overall pick.
Whoa!
This late.
What was his
I
top
forgot
3?
about Zach. I'm upset.
His top 3 were in order: Aubrey, Suri, Tiffany.
Okay, and who's his 4th?
And his 4th overall, joining Aubrey on his draft, is Rick Devens.
I'm fine with that.
Oh,
Cool.
Interesting.
I'm fine with that.
Dylan hates Rick.
Me as
Yeah,
Austin.
I do. Sorry.
Me as Austin is fine with that as well.
Rick Devens the player, not the person. But Austin, since you are representing Zach here, do you have any thoughts on Rick Devens?
Yeah, hat off again. So I admittedly was not on the Rick Devens train during Edge of Extinction like the masses of America were. I can see the elements where people found him entertaining and but I don't think Rick is a good player. Like, we also recently rewatched Edge of Extinction, and sometimes like he does not ever do himself favors to like get out of the bottom. Like, he is always, I feel like, being one of, if not the loudest in the room. And like, again, there are a lot of other loud people here that maybe it's going to be hard for him to be the loudest in the room. But like, I mean, Rick Devens makes it as far as he does and almost wins simply because like they just can't get him. Like, they always want to get him, but they just can't. And I don't see him having that same trajectory here where he's going to be able to just like idle and immunity win himself to the end. So I don't know. I'm not high on Rick Devens on this season. But I do think he'll get a good amount of confessionals. Like, he is a compelling storyteller. They do like to make him pretend he's a news anchor. Well, I mean, he is one, but like they like to pretend that he's one on the island as well. So I'm sure we're gonna get some like breaking news updates from Rick Devens throughout the season that might get some confessional points there. But Rick Devens was very, very low on my list to pick for the draft personally.
Yeah, he was 4th to the bottom for me. Just because I'm in the same boat. It's not even that I think he's a bad player. I think he played fine on his season given the circumstances. He played his season well, but my only thing is like, yeah, you're right. Like, he was always in danger. I think people forget, like, he did get voted out and came back in, which is like part of the play of that season and that twist. But they didn't know the Edge of Extinction was a thing like they did on Winners of War. So Winners of War, you at least had the ability of knowing that there was that option. Whereas here it was like, no, there was a surprise that they got another shot. If there is no Edge of Extinction, he's a 4th boot that no one probably thinks about. And I think that's the thing.
Never controls a vote in his season outside of like the Julia vote, and that's because the Alive Tribal happened. happen there, and
Yeah, and
that
I
benefits him.
I will say I think the reason I don't like Rick is not necessarily that I don't think he's the best player, because it's fun to root for players like that. I mean, Mike Holloway was kind of the same thing, and he won the game, and it was fun to root for that.
I didn't root for him.
I know, but some people would also root for Ben for that reason.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
He does fit that Ben Mike Holloway mold though,
Yes.
where if like he makes it to the final three, he wins. So like I think he
Yes.
had win equity, which is the one thing that I think some players even lower than him on this draft will not even have win equity. I don't even think Jonathan has win equity. I think Devins has more win equity than Jonathan. But here's my thing. I just think he's a little annoying. Like I just for me personally, it's and I just rewatched the episode they showed to like recap his experience, and it was the Ron Clark episode. And even though that's a really baller move, he doesn't even vote for Ron Clark. Victoria, or no, not Victoria. I forget who does. Gavin and one other person. He
Probably
votes
Gavin
for Aurora. Yeah, he votes for Aurora, but the difference is I think just the way he does it, he just comes across so cocky, where if you're in that position, like that is your game, that is your style of play. He plays a very cocky game. It's just that's never been my type of favorite game. I like the people who are cocky in the confessionals and then play it cooler in tribals. It's also a reason why I don't like, spoiler alert, Rizgod. I think it's just like there's a certain style of play that I'm not the biggest fan of. And if you make a flashy move, I think there's a way to make it flashy while also not coming across like gloating in a way, or not even gloating, but it just comes across a little condescending. I just find him a little condescending.
So Gavin with an extra vote and Lauren.
Gotcha. So it was 3 votes Ron, and then he voted Aurora. So I just don't really, I don't know. I don't love Devins. I get the hype, but I don't what's the word? Subscribe to the hype. I do think it's a good pick for this draft because we know he's either going to get the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol, or he will have been told about it from an ally, or it's a public idol that Jeff tells everyone about, but he has the confessional in the preview about the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. So that at least shows you that he at least will know about it, or get it. So I think there's at least going to be some points on the board for Zach for having an advantage. I think he's going to get a lot of it. It's just, I think he's going to snipe that out before he can do anything too big with the advantages. But I know I'm in the minority because everyone loves Rick Devins. And he's also the alternate of the season, and so he's going to have a little extra to play for, I feel, just because he originally wasn't on the cast, and then they expanded it from 20 to 24, and then he got on the cast. So I just think there's going to be a lot of drive, where I do think he has a potential to surprise me and be one of my favorites if he plays a more clean game, if that makes sense. But I know I'm in the minority. Matt, what are your thoughts on Devins? You like Devins, right?
It hasn't so far sounded like you were in the minority, but I would like to be the dissenting voice. Yes. I love Rick Devins. And here's why. Mm-hmm. And this is why when I hear people who don't like him talk about him and talk about how annoying he is and how they don't like his personality, in terms of personality, there are people who I identify more based on experience and how they work. In terms of personality, probably the most like me is Rick Devins. And so that's why when then I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense to me.
I like you a lot more than
time. We've spent a lot of time together, and you don't think I'm the loudest person in the room. You don't think I make jokes at the wrong times. You don't think that I sometimes act before thinking. I'm all of those things.
Yes, but I don't think you're condescending about it. I don't think he is either. I think he's joking. I think that, and if that's the case, then yes, I absolutely am, because I did it just now to you when I told you your pick was bad.
So it's okay.
So it's stuff like that it just makes me sad when people don't like him just because, and when they specifically point out that the things that are most like me.
I'm sorry, Matt.
Regardless of that, I think that he is. I think he's. He is a certain type of Survivor player that's not. They're the types of Survivor players that are great because of their skill, and they're the types of Survivor players which I think embody the original idea of Survivor, which are the people who endure. And I think that he embodies that in terms of what kind of player he is. I understand that he can be abrasive and loud, and people may not like that all the time. I understand that because I understand it from my life. But he is somebody that I do enjoy, and so I'm excited he's on this season. And He wasn't. I was worried because I forgot Zach was in between me and Dylan, and so I was worried that he was about to take one of mine. But Rick would have been after my next two, so I'm fine.
Yeah, and just Matt, I think you're different, and I don't ever get that vibe from you. The things that I dislike about Rick, I don't ever get that from you. I get a lot of similarities, yeah, but not the things I dislike about Rick personally. I do like, but I do like what you said, and it is entertaining to watch him, even though I do think he's a little cocky, a little arrogant. But I think you're very humble, Matt, and I think that's the big difference. But
I play cocky, like. I am humble, but I play cocky. I'm sure if you talk to him in person, like on a serious level, he probably would have a lot of self-doubt. And that's probably why he acts so cocky.
True. And again, I'm excited to see what he's going to bring because I think he's entertaining, and I'm very excited to see what that'll bring, even if it's for an episode or 10. Ingrid, thoughts on Rick Devens?
You guys are so interesting to me because you guys love Angelina and then say that Rick Devens is annoying. And I don't understand. Because
thank you.
And now on the other side of it, I'm going to say that I love Rick Devens, and I do think that there are similarities to them a little bit. I cried when Rick Devens lost Fire Making. Okay, I love Rick Devens. I think he deserved to win that season, and I'm still upset to this day. So I'm very excited that he gets another shot. I've been waiting for him to get this other shot for a very long time, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a great pick in terms of confessionals and things of that nature, advantages, challenges, all those things. I'm hoping that enough time has passed since Edge of Extinction that his threat level isn't too high. Because if he had played on like a 40 like Angelina, I think it would have been too soon for him. I think the other thing that I really like about Devens, like Austin was like, Ingrid doesn't like Angelina because she hates fun. Rick Devens has so much fun playing Survivor. He has so much fun, regardless of whether he's good at it or not. I don't really care because he is having a blast the whole time.
I do like that about him.
Like when he's planting the idols and Lauren finds it and they're screaming and he's like hee in the bushes, like it's very Tony-esque. And like these other, like I think he, like, yes, there are definitely a lot of missteps that he made in Edge of Extinction that I think he can learn from. But there's also so much heart and there's so much drive and there's so much of that endurance that Matt was talking about. That, like, I think that that he could do well, but I also am a little worried because a lot of the preseason stuff is people saying that Rick is doing too much. So I am a little worried that like if that doesn't change when they start being able to speak to each other, that could spell danger for him. I don't remember what tribe he's on right now. So I don't remember if it's a tribe that I think is going to
go on Savannah's tribe.
Okay, so then he may also get lucky that they don't go early on, and so he's able to build relationships. Whereas, like with Edge of Extinction, he was on the disaster tribe, so he didn't have that luxury. So I think it's a good pick. I think there's some risk to it, but I love Rick Devens, and I love talking about Rick Devens. Mm-hmm. So works for me.
I just have two more things to add real quick. Number one, we talked about Ron Clark, and that makes me want to say rest in peace Matthew Perry, who played him in the Ron Clark story.
Yes.
But number two, that's actually involved in this. Ingrid kind of made me think of this when she was talking about how he deserved to win Edge of Extinction, which I agree with. And it popped this thing into my head that, like, it's like you ordered a Monte Cristo, Rick Devens, and someone brought you a turkey sandwich on white, Chris Underwood. And that's what Chris winning that season feels like to me over Rick Devens.
And on that note, like, I think of the two, absolutely Rick Devens did more, played more, deserved the win. My only thing is also, like, for me, I think Gavin and Victoria played two of the cleanest games that season.
Yeah.
And also just
I love them too.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, that season, because of that twist, I think that's going to weigh heavily into a lot of jurors' minds. And I get why for that season, those are the two contenders in the end. But it sucks because I do think if you are able to make it through the game without getting voted out, that immediately puts you, in my mind, above the ones who are getting a second shot on the very season. It's why I never thought Burton was as good a player as everyone says Burton is. It's because you did have to get voted out first, and you're getting your second shot. But I get it, for this season, it makes sense, and I do see everyone's points. And Rick does have fun, which cannot be said about some of the other people that I fear are going to be lower on our fantasy league that I'm worried are not going to have as much fun as Rick. Carly, any last thoughts on Rick Devens?
Yeah, I haven't rewatched this season since my first watch, so I don't remember it that well. I think I liked him. I think he was fun, but like, I don't feel super attached to him one way or another.
Great. Well, Matt, you do have 2 picks now, and I'm really worried because now I worried I picked Angelina too early. So I hope one of my 2 names that I still want to get to round out my draft don't get picked by you. I will let you know if they do.
One of them definitely wasn't next for you,
Okay.
but the other one, let's find out. Actually, both of them might not have been. I'm going to go, but and just to be clear, I'm remembering the rules right. The order that I do this in does not matter for points, right?
No, these are going to no. These are just your next 2 picks.
Just making.
It's
I
just if
didn't
you
think
want
so,
to
but I just wanted
honor.
to make sure.
It's just if you want to honor one with pick 12 versus pick 13.
And on the graphic, when one of the players goes home first, they will go black and white. So sometimes you like to leave that on the bottom, and if you think someone's going to go further, you leave them on the top row.
Both of mine, I think, have an equal chance of. Actually, no, that's not true. I think my next pick is going to go home before that, but I think that they're going to get challenge wins. I think they're going to get confessionals, and I think they might even make a fake idol that they spent hours on. And that is Oscar Lush. Lush.
Okay.
Ozzy is
that was my next pick.
Okay. And his Shambo hair this season for some reason.
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
I was obviously, like most people, a massive Ozzy fan in his early seasons. In fact, up until now, I've always been a big Ozzy fan. He's lost favor with the internet a little bit for good reason, I think, a little bit. But
wait, what did he do? Was it bad?
I think people. I don't know. We don't need it.
It wasn't bad.
He didn't assault anyone.
I just DM'd it to everyone there.
Oh, what's wrong with
that? Nothing wrong with that, except
Yes,
there's more. Anyway, not the point.
Okay.
Anyway,
Facebook doesn't like that, Carly. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I am. I'm excited to see if he still got it. Like that's one of the big things for me. I've said that Christian is the one I'm most excited to watch play. This is the one I'm most curious about. I'm most curious to see, does he have it? Is he going to swim like a dolphin? Anytime I see that dude in the water, I'm just so impressed. Like I'm very excited to see how he does going forward. Maybe he's going to sink like a rock and this is going to be a bad pick for me, but I think that he's going to I think he's going to make the merge. I think he's not going to last that. I don't think he has a chance at winning. I think his one chance at winning, he was rightfully upset to have not won. But other than that, I think that he's going to get me some points. And yeah, that's it.
I'm so mad. Not mad at you. You did the right thing. It's just that was my next pick, hands down. I should have picked him before Angelina. I'm just
yes, you should have
my life choices. Just because in my mind, I think everyone's turned on Ozzy because he's boring. Because his Game Changers game is so boring. But I think the thing is because it was so boring, I don't think anyone's looking at him as a big threat, especially because they're going to want to use him as in a challenge. But like Micronesia, he was running the game until the women just outsmarted him and got a hold of it. And Cook Islands, he was a vote away from winning, where if it's a final 2, not a final 3, he wins that final challenge, takes out Yule. And that was the first season with a final 3. So there's a very good chance he just votes out Yule and then he beats Becky in a landslide. Like I think Ozzy is a much better player than people give credit for. He's the reason I named my dog dearly departed Ozzy. Yeah, like Ozzy's Ozzy is my family's most like beloved Survivor player. So definitely wanted him for personal reasons. I don't think he's gonna win the game, but I think of any season, like I think he has a better chance than he did on South Pacific, where he was very clearly going to be a target just because he's a strong player and he's one of 2 returnees and he's not the crazy coach guy. And better chance than Micronesia, obviously. Like I think this is the best chance he has at least getting a win. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think he's easily making the merge. I have him easily making like final 8, and then I could see him getting to the finale even, just because I don't even know if people are going to be that worried about him because he's never really had that killer instinct. Oh man, I'm glad you got him, but I'm pissed I didn't. But I'm very glad that you got him, Matt. So that's it. Yeah, Ozzy's great. Love Ozzy. Carly, thoughts on Ozzy?
Oh yeah, I love Ozzy. I love him. He's like the challenge, not really a challenge. I don't know if he's still a challenge beast because he is older than when he last played, but like he's a version of Jonathan I like he's friendly, and you want to root for Ozzy. It's Ozzy, and I think he will have a lot of longevity just because like who's gonna target Ozzy? Like unless he's like gonna super dominate individual challenges, which I don't really see. I think they'll just kind of keep him around for a while. So
I remember the thing I was going to bring up, which is why he's such a good fantasy pick, is he's with Suri to start, which is already the person he most wants to work with, and who most wants to work with him. Right.
I'm excited for them with that.
Yeah, and even though she was part of his blind side, like I think in Micronesia they repaired things in Game Changers, and I think it's just like her, and I think he also thinks he could beat her in a fire making challenge. He could get her out when he wants to at 4, which he very well could. I could see a world where Ozzy cuts Suri at Final 4 and then goes on to be like the runner up, which would suck. But I also think
I like how you said and goes on to be the runner-up.
Well, yeah, because I don't. True. If it's maybe. But here's
he
the
was
thing.
doing so bad he took Suri out in fire that they're like, no, fuck you.
Did we see who Survivor invited to the Grammys? It was Suri. It was Joe Hunter, who's like the new hero face, and it was Ozzy. And also in the interviews, Jeff said the first name he called of all the names, the first name they called that he had to have, it was Jenna Lewis because he wanted someone from the first season, and it was Ozzy because Ozzy is the face of Survivor or whatever. When in Game Changers, he was like, I don't know why they cast Ozzy. Ozzy was a terrible casting choice. So it's just such a weird thing. Why is Jeff Probst now backtracking to say how much they wanted Ozzy? And so much so that Amanda Kimball dropped from the cast because Ozzy was in it, and CBS would not get rid of Ozzy. She was like, I will not do the show if Ozzy's there. And they said, okay, bye. And they replaced her with Aubrey. And it's great because we got Aubrey because of it. But, it was going to be Amanda, but she didn't want to play because Ozzy was there. And because they obviously have bad blood. But the thing is, like, I think the fact that CBS is going so hard to protect Ozzy's image and put Ozzy out there as a face of the season and promote him so much when he got like 10 confessionals over the whole season on Game Changers, I think is a very good sign that he's at least making it somewhat deep, or at least going to be featured in the episodes he's in. So
yeah, Ozzy was someone I had debated a little bit in picking because a lot of the, I think longevity is probably there, especially starting the game here with Suri, and they've both said they want to play with each other this season. I also am like, I don't know that Ozzy has the best winner odds. But can I also just manifest, like, how great would that, like, if that Grammys 3 is the final 3 of the season?
That'd be iconic.
This is a great season if that ends up being the final 3.
Yeah, and CBS just like spoiled it without spoiling it. Yeah, Suri wins that one for sure. Suri beats Ozzy.
1000%.
And Suri is the winner of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Siri just went crazy because
I don't know if there's a final 3 where Suri doesn't win.
That's true.
Right.
I think if she's there with a previous winner, or if there's somebody who somehow outplays her for whatever reason, I think those are the two.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that the only season Suri has ever played where she would not have won had she been in the final was Australia versus the world. Yeah, that would be a great final 3, and Joe would once again be a 0-vote finalist.
Yeah. Oh, we'll clip it if it happens. Any more thoughts on Ozzy? Ingrid, did you speak on Ozzy?
Yeah. The Hispanic girl in me wants him to do well. But also, like, I think that this is a really good cast for Ozzy. We've kind of talked about there's like a lot of other people here that are challenge threats as well. So it's not like he's like going to be at the front of everybody's mind when people like Jonathan and Joe are here, who have been more challenge heavy more recently. Just kind of like how he's probably ahead of Colby in people's minds because of how Colby performed on later seasons. But again, and like everybody said, I think him and Suri being together is great for him. I am interested to see, in my mind, like, I am not the biggest Ozzy fan in general, but I also, the first time I ever watched Ozzy was on South Pacific. I had to end up going back to see younger Ozzy, and I think younger Ozzy is best Ozzy. So I think that's probably why. But I think, as always, it's interesting to see if he brings anything new, and I feel like recently he hasn't. So with it being a little bit longer since he last played, I'm interested to see if that changes anything for him or not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in the middle for me in terms of a good pick or not a good pick.
Yeah, and I think he's only one of 2, if I'm not mistaken, queer rep on the season. So that's cool.
He's one of 2.
I believe so.
One of
Just
2.
Mike.
Yeah.
Unless somebody is hiding, which they could be.
True. Which in Survivor is a good thing.
Yes.
But what? No, it's good.
No, I know.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like Jeff Varner when I said that. I'm so sorry.
No,
I just realized when I said that I was like, no, that's not what I meant.
No,
it doesn't show deception in a way. No, but it is one of those things where I think just that also opens him up though to playing with a bunch of but that definitely opens him up to play with other. Yeah, but I'm just saying it opens him up to also be more universal. Like I think he's going to connect to more people than Jonathan is because he also has that element too of like being in the queer community and also just being a little older. Yeah, I think it's
and he's very like politically involved, which could be good for him with a lot of people. So that's helpful.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jeff Varner, real quick, how many points do we lose if Jeff decides we're not even having a vote? You're just leaving.
I think that should also be 50 points.
Yeah, 50 points. Yeah, if you get kicked out of the season, like if you get
You're
removed
removed from the game for bad things.
Yeah, 100 points maybe. I don't know. Matt, who is going to be your next pick though? Lucky number 13.
All right. This is someone that I love, and I thought I was not alone, but have recently discovered that apparently most people don't love, and that is sad to me. But it is Rizgod, Rizgod.
Baby.
I actually
and Zach is crying because that was Zach's next pick.
I actually thought that Dylan loved him as much as I did until just like a week ago when he was like, "I don't like Rizgod." I was like, "What?" No. I thought, but then I realized I think he was just silent while I was blabbering on about how much I love Rizgod.
I was on a boat. Yeah,
that's true. I think he is. Yes, he's cocky. I think he's going to have learned that lesson a little bit. Probably, I hope. From this, I hope he's not. I hope he hasn't learned it completely because I want him to be cocky. But I want him to maybe play it a little closer to the vest than he did last time. He's gonna get mad confessionals, guys. I think because they don't know what to expect out of him, and because they probably are going to know that Savannah is the winner, he's gonna probably be a little bit underestimated in terms of how much of a threat he is. And I think he's going to make it. I think he's gonna make it pretty far. And maybe not. Maybe he's not gonna get the challenges, but I'm gonna rack up those. That's some Bonu level confessionals. I'm excited.
Yeah. I won't say anything negative about him as a player because he is a good player. That's the thing. He's a very good player. I think the 49 players are dead on arrival. I just don't see, and that doesn't mean you can't get a lot of points with longevity or fantasy points. I'm worried though they're not even going to survive a tribal just because everyone's just the fear of the unknown. I think everyone's going to know Savannah won and Riz didn't. But I do think even then they still don't know what kind of games they played, and even if they know what kind of games they played, they don't know if they're being truthful about it. They have no game tape on them whatsoever, and I just think it's so much of an unknown entity. I would immediately target them, or I would say, hey everyone, let's drag them to the end, and like there's your second and third place, and like let's just agree that they're not going to win. But that's kind of mean.
Who's on his tribe? Who's on his tribe?
He's on the disaster tribe.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah, he might actually escape because of that.
I think he'll be fine on it.
I think he'll be all right. I also think that a smart player, which that tribe actually has several. Like that's why they're disaster tribes, because they're not going to do the physical very well.
7 of 8 of them. I'm kidding.
I think smart people on that tribe are going to realize that this is someone without friends, and is probably going to scoop them up and use him. Not knowing that he's probably using them, and that I think that is going to help him.
Yeah, you're right. I think in this round we can start to take people who obviously don't have as much win equity. Like honestly, I think we've taken all the big heavy hitters that have win equity. I think there maybe are a few more names that could win if they get there, especially the winners. I mean, the winners, if they get there, that's an impressive story. But like all the non-winners, I think there's only a handful left that actually could win. I don't think Riz God could win, but he could definitely make it further than some of the other names. I think are going to just be targeted because they know their reputation. He can play this really well if he does the right things, and I think he could. So
I'll make a
I'm
bold
very interested.
prediction.
Yeah, Austin.
I think Riz God's in the finale episode of the season.
Really?
Interesting.
I
not as a juror.
I like I don't know.
Lose fire again. No.
Fire double back-to-back fire making loser. I don't know.
Oh God.
But like I think he is smart enough to know exactly what everyone just saw before they left, which is the RIZGOD Riz God. And I think if he can play it right, he can really play into that. Like I am like a coach. I am like a cute. I like. Not he doesn't want to be like a cute, but I am like this goofy person who doesn't have a big strategic break. Like I am here because like I was hilarious. And if he can really like get that, sell that, and find someone like maybe like an Aubrey or a Genevieve to like that be his like quiet strategic partner. Like I think Rizzo could be here for a while.
Could he be this season's Cochran?
Yeah.
I think if he's on 48 or 47, yes. I just the back-to-back thing scares me. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I think he definitely has much more upside than Savannah.
And like I think everyone is like saying they're worried about the back-to-back thing, but like I feel like they worry about it every season and then they still
those
do
people
well.
make it to the end. But
right.
Yeah, Amanda Kimmel just lost twice. Like it's
Amanda
not
Kimmel, made it to the end. Russell made it to the end, but
Russell.
also I think
Malcolm makes a decent run in Caramel.
Yeah, but ever since Russell though, I fear that like Coach is on the season. Coach played with Russell. Yes. Coach is probably gonna be terrified of Riz God.
Michaela pretty well.
but that's
the best sentence I've ever heard. Just so you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Michaela and Zeke. Yeah, honestly, I think there's such a wild card.
I think like with looking at that, he has a chance to at least make the merge.
He's one of the people.
None of those people haven't made the merge.
We've talked about people who have like really high variance. I think Rizzo is probably, in my opinion, the person with like. There is a world where I could see Riz God winning the season, and there is a world where I see Riz God as the first boot, and anything in between.
Well, and what's funny is when they first announced the cast for 49, and we saw that preview of Riz God, I was like, he's your first boot. And then I heard he was going to be on 50, and I was like, well, he can't be the first boot unless it's like a Jelinski thing. And then I was like, okay, so he's probably going to be a losing finalist or win. And then he got fourth. I was like, okay. But I was like, oh, but he's first booted the next season because it's just. But again, I think he's going to prove me wrong. So you've sold me on your pick, Matt. Everyone has told me on Matt's pick. Carly, any last thoughts on RIZGOD?
Yeah, I was thinking pretty similar that like everyone would be scared of him, but the fact that he is on the disaster tribe, I think helps him a lot because there's going to be too much going on there for people to like properly target him. And apparently it was leaked that Savannah won to the other players because she was saying how she was trying to decide whether to tell them, and apparently like it somehow got leaked to most of the cast, so they do.
I wonder who leaked it. Maybe it's
one of. I will say Chrissy's little Dalton Ross who to vote out first. Chrissy votes Savannah, and she says because I heard a rumor that you won 49.
Yeah, so I think So I think Savannah was saying she's going to own it because she kind of has to now. So
I think if you look at the tribe layouts, it's pretty obvious. I mean, it's like Kyle's on one tribe, Dee's on another, Savannah's on another tribe, and that's the only tribe without a winner. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's kind of how a lot of people predicted.
And Rizzo said he did not practice puzzles, so
he had 9 days.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another thing too, though. If his tribe does lose, he's a disaster tribe. If he's bad in challenges, they could just get rid of him for that. So that's why I'm also a little worried, but. I think if he could get to the merge, I think he has a good shot of going to like final 5, final 4. But if he can't make the merge, that's
pick. I think he's a good pick, but that's the reason I had him lower. But I don't think I think there's definitely a chance you could get a significant amount of points from him.
Cool. All right, Austin, you're gonna go next with Zach's pick. Also, I don't know. Someone might
have get to talk about my friend.
Oh, I'm so sorry. While Ingrid's talking, though, someone has their Discord open. It might be me. It's making a lot of dings.
It's probably you.
I was wondering. I was like trying to figure out why my Discord. I closed Discord. I was like, why is my Discord still going?
It's okay. I just want to make sure because I'm hearing a lot of dings. But it's okay. Austin, sorry, Ingrid, talk about Riz God.
I am so angry at how these people are talking about Rizzo in the preseason. It makes me so mad. And like, I get it. Okay. I also saw RIZGOD right before they left. Okay, I saw it. But it's not even just that. It's like they are speaking so poorly of him because of his age, and that kind of makes me mad as somebody that's basically his age. But also like everybody in the preseason is like, he can't even grow a mustache. Did he have to get a permission slip to be here? Like blah blah blah. And like to me, that's so disrespectful. But also like it could bear well for him because if they are looking at him like that,
young and impressionable,
and they think Savannah won, like I think there is a high chance that he could go far because they think they can manipulate him. They think he like is impressionable in these things, and I really hope that he runs with that, because if he doesn't, then I think he could be in more trouble. So
yeah.
Austin, what are you doing?
I'm trying to see it, even though I closed Discord if it's running in the background.
It's okay. There's some dings going on, but it's okay. Zach, you have to make your pick now. Mr. Zachary Love, aka Austin. I'm praying that my other name, because I had two names. I was like, if I can get them, it was Ozzy and one other name. So I'm hoping you don't take the last name that I want. But
I will say, Zach was going to take Rizzo, and Rizzo was Zach's 5th overall pick. Like, we are not touching Zach's high picks.
Like, okay, well, who's his number 6?
I will say this is now Zach's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th overall pick.
Okay.
And Zach will be taking Camilla.
Okay. Our first, a second of our 48 representation, but Camilla is off the board, number 14. Austin, as the Zach representative, tell us about Camilla.
All right. I worry for her a lot. It's all up to, does that disaster tribe get rid of Kyle early enough to where then Camilla can seem unconnected? But even then, like, she is the strategic mastermind of the season that aired 3 days before they left. Like, that is going to be on their minds, that Camilla strategically ran that game. And I think she's going to struggle with that. I think she's someone that, like, a D, because Camilla's tribe is the only tribe we haven't said the names of really quick. That's Jonathan, D, Mike White, Camilla, Charlie, Tiffany, Coach, and Chrissy. And I think if D is trying to get the heat off of her as a former winner, I think the two people D is throwing under the bus are Mike White and Camilla, as, like, Mike White is this millionaire, he doesn't need to be here type deal. And then Camilla of, like, she is probably the most dangerous strategic threat on this beach. Coming from D, who is probably also the biggest strategic threat on that tribe's beach. But, like, I worry about Camilla early on. Like, I think Camilla we could see her go pre-merge. I hope not, because I really, really like her. I like Camilla a lot, and I want to see her do well, but I think this was not the time for Camilla to come back. I think she needed more seasons off between her return.
Yeah, I think Camilla's pretty screwed, sadly. I think you are playing on a season with two other people on your season. They're looking at you as a trio, if not a trio, a duo. And the other guy in your duo is the biggest challenge asset on your tribe. They're not going to get rid of Kyle. They're not going to vote him out. And I think that's the problem, is Camilla is like, I worry that they're going to get rid of Camilla because they don't want her to link up with Kyle or Joe. And why not get rid of her? She's good at puzzles, but so who else is on our tribe one more time?
Jonathan, D, Mike, Charlie, Tiffany.
Yeah, Coach, I think they have enough.
Chrissy is their puzzle person.
Chrissy and even Charlie. Like, I feel like they have enough smart people for Charlie puzzles. Also. I don't think Camilla will be a necessity for puzzles. And I just think they view her as a little physically weaker just because she's a little smaller. And I think she is screwed, and she knows it. She even said, she's like, if I knew Kyle was coming back, I would not have accepted.
Yeah,
I would have said no. And I think that's kind of sad. It's crappy that they wanted so hard to get Kyle on the season when Kyle, I don't think, gives you too much entertainment value. He's a great player, and it's cool to get multiple winners on the season. But
there are other winners. You could have asked Marianne. You could have asked
Marianne. You could have
Rachel.
gotten Jam before the traders did. You could have gotten Rachel. Yeah. You could have even snagged a Gabler or a Mike or Erica, just as underrated representation. Though.
Nobody asked for that, Dylan.
You can even try to get like one of the winners who hasn't returned from the new area, like Tommy or Chris Underwood. Natalie White, Earl Cole. The thing is, like, I think you had to get Kyle. You had to get Kyle and Camilla together. I think there's a lot of draw in that, but it really sucks because I don't think it gives either of them a chance to win. I think it's an almost zero chance that either of them win unless Kyle is booted first because there's a winner thing, and you have Camilla. I think that would be her biggest asset, is if Joe is also somehow targeted early. But even then, she has Joe still too. And it was clear that the four of them were much closer than just the duo was. Like that, Joe and Eva were very close with Kyle and Camilla. So I really just think I don't see a world where Camilla makes it to the merge unless they blindside Joe or Kyle early. I really fear for Camilla. She's in my first like 2 or 3 boots, sadly, and I love Camilla so much.
I worry Ingrid will forget her thought if she doesn't go next.
Yeah, Ingrid, go ahead. Sorry.
I love Camilla so much. I am more upset that Kyle is here with her than that Joe is here with her. One, because I think it's so unfair to her that Kyle is here. There's no reason for Kyle to be here. There's literally no reason for I love Kyle. There's no reason for him to be here. Literally like 0% in my mind. As much as I love him and I think he's wonderful and a great winner and a great person. I think he severely tanks her chances, but I think that she can be benefited if he goes early, that Joe and her like didn't work as closely together. Like Kyle chose to take Joe to the end, whereas like she was probably not going to do that. The whole time when they didn't think that Kyle and Camilla were working together, Joe and Eva were like, let's get rid of Camilla. Let's get rid of Camilla. Let's get rid of Camilla. And Kyle was like, no. And like, I think just if Kyle goes early, I think she has a much better chance. I do think you guys are right though, that like she is that strategic mastermind and all those things. But I think hopefully there are enough other sides to that if Kyle goes early, and only if Kyle goes early, she can do well. Yeah. So like we would really have to bank on that. But I love her so much, and I'm so angry for her that Kyle is here. I'm so angry for her about that.
Yeah.
I do think she has a little wiggle room, because I think Dee definitely goes before her if they go to tribal. And I think Charlie probably goes before her too, because of that whole robbed narrative with Maria not voting for him. So I think she has a little wiggle room, but yeah, I do agree that Kyle being there and likely not being voted out super early because the disaster tribe needs him is very difficult for her. So I really hope if she is an early boot that she gets to come back later and play again.
Yeah. Matt, thoughts on Camilla?
I'm in a weird position here where I love Kyle so much, and I was very excited when he got because he was my winner pick for that season, and it was the first time I'd had like a out of the gate winner pick since, I guess, Marianne. So that's not been that long, but it was. But before that, it was like Tom, and so I was like very excited that because he had won, and I was rooting for him the whole time, and so I was very excited he was picked and that they were going to be together. I was like, oh, I love that. And then I thought about it, and I'm in a weird position where I hope this guy I love so much goes early because of exactly what Ingrid was saying there. Like, I love her a lot, and I think that she deserves to have her game shown again, and I really want her to succeed, but it's not going to happen with Kyle there, I think. And unless they pull off a miracle and do a new strategy where that works really well. I think they are probably one of the best duos we've ever seen in Survivor. And so like I would love to see a new trick from them that got both of them to go a little bit further. But I worry that she's not going to make it very far, and that's upsetting.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, it's very sad. But I hope she makes it far. Like I hope we're all proven wrong. I'm actually gonna do something a little crazy with my next pick. This was who next to Ozzy I would have wanted to round out my draft. No, but also one single letter. I'm gonna go D. And I know this is kind of crazy because I do think a lot of people are going to think there's a 0% chance she wins because she's won before. I agree. I don't think she's getting to the end. I don't think anyone's letting her get to the end. But also, I think a lot of the times we have the Tiffany's of the seasons where like they're so underestimated that they're going to skate by the end. But I feel like with a lot of these returning seasons, you also have those big threats that it's almost like, how did you let them get this far? In Heroes vs. Villains, you have that with Russell and Parvati, and in a way, Sandra, who's another winner. Like, how did you let all these winners get to the end? I could see a Parvati upside where it's just like everyone knows she's a threat coming in, but she's just that good. It's the Suri thing of like she has that mist where people still want to work with her regardless. Also, probably because they think she doesn't have a shot at winning. So why not work with someone who's really good at this, get far along? The reason I pick her above Kyle and Savannah even is because she is so well ingrained with the Survivor community as well. Like she's all over social media. She's friends with so many people. She goes to all the events. She travels the world. She did the Quiet Place promos for CBS. She has done so many things. She's been like the On Fire host. Like she is the face of the new era for the women, I would say. And you know, I just think there's something to be said about that she's very well connected. And I just think she's going to have a lot of longevity because of that, more so than the other two winners. Now I still have her going pre-merge. I have her in like 15th place, but I think of the three winners, she's going to make the most of her time, no matter how long that is, to where I think she's still going to rack up some fantasy points for me. And if there is going to be a winner who does make a surprisingly deep run and gets maybe like 5th place, I think it's D. I think D is someone who is just so well equipped for the game. And the thing is, Kyle won in such a dominant fashion so recently. Savannah's an unknown. They don't know how well she did. They know how well D did, and they knew D was really good, but also D was part of an alliance where some people would say Drew ran that alliance. Some people would say Austin was a vote away from winning. Maybe D's not as good a winner as some people say. So I think there's some things that are going to help her manage her threat level. I just think she is someone who I have a lot more faith in than the other two winners. And honestly, even more so than some of these old school names that I just don't think are going to have that killer instinct to win. I think D, if you put her on a season with these people from seasons 1 and 2 and stuff, I think she's going to be able to outsmart them. And I think the biggest hurdle on her tribe is honestly going to be someone like Charlie or someone like Camilla. But even then, I think Camilla and Charlie have such obvious targets that I think D is going to be able to put those targets in front of her own and kind of be able to at least skate by the first few votes. And then all she has to do is try to like do a loyalty thing with Coach and with Jonathan. You know, you also have Mike White on her tribe that she can push in front as well. So you have Camilla and Charlie, who are these strategists. You have Mike White, who is a celebrity. You know, the only person she probably can't hide behind is Tiffany. So I really do think that's probably a good sign for D. I don't think she's winning, but in the last 2 rounds, I want to get someone who I at least think could make it far in a surprising run. I think she's going to surprise some people, and I think of the 3 winners, she's the one I'd most like to leave the season still being one of the greats. And I think if she goes out early, it'll be devastating. So I'm hoping she makes a deep enough run to still be known as one of the greats. I akin her game in this season probably to Kim Spradlin, where I knew Kim Spradlin was going to make it all the way, but I just wanted her to make it at least to the merge to show that she was still such a good player, and she did. I think she's going to be the Kim Spradlin of the season. That's my prediction. So, Carly, I know you've had a big statement that like winners have no shots. I do agree with you, but what are your thoughts on D specifically?
I think she is definitely the winner that is most well positioned to make it far. Like I have all my winners in the bottom tier, but I have D at the top because like I think like she is the most dominant winner of the new era. I feel like most people believe that. I could be wrong, but like she's just, her game was just so like she just dominated so much of the game and seemed like so smart strategically and moving within her alliance and all that. So I think if any of these winners make a deep run, I think it could be D. I think Kyle and Savannah are much scarier, especially because they're more recent. So yeah, I think it's not a bad pick because I think there's definitely a chance she skates by the first few times and makes it a little deeper, even though I think her chances of winning are 0.
Yeah. Austin, you looked upset when I took D. Was she going to be your next pick?
Possibly. I had a few but she was one of the 3 that I was thinking of. I think D is going to be the winner that does the best here. Just because there's so much heat on Savannah for the unknown, and even like the unknown plus the rumor that she's the winner, and Kyle's just being so recent. I think she's going to be extremely valuable to her tribe in challenges that they're not going to want to get rid of her for that reason, even though she is a winner. Like, she is the best physical competitor besides Jonathan, I think, on her tribe. Chrissy is very good at challenges, as we have seen in the past, but like Chrissy is also however many years older than she was on.
Yeah.
But like D does the challenge now. Like D is even more built for challenges than she was the first time she played, to where like I think that they're going to want to keep her for a challenge asset. I think if she makes the merge, she could win a couple of those early ones. And I think she's just good and smart enough to make the merge. Like, I think she's going to find the way to get people on her side and get other people targeted before her if she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I agree with everything you said about D.
Cool. Ingrid, thoughts on D?
Yeah, I mean, basically what everybody else said. I think she's on a really good tribe for her to start on, just in general, both in terms of like who's targeting her in the preseason and like challenge things, like Austin said. Yeah, she's probably the winner that's going to go the furthest of the 3. Do I think she can win? Probably not, but I could absolutely see her like on the jury, which I don't know if I can say that for the other 2.
Yeah. Matt from Raro Tribe.
It's interesting because 45 was the first season when I came back to watching Survivor for a long time. And I remember that you were like talking about how D was definitely going to win, and I was confused because I didn't really get it. And on the rewatch, I get it. Like, I get her appeal, but I think you guys are absolutely right in that it's been longer, and there are people on her season that had better showings, or that could be construed as better showings. Because I agree. I think Drew ran that tribe, and her strength was in the strategy, and not caring about Austin as much as Austin cared about her. Yeah. But I think that is kind of where, like, in her, how smart she is. She's very, very smart. And yeah, I think that her weird toes might get you some points in challenges.
Yeah, maybe she'll be like, this toe looks just like Marcus from Gabon. And, and there you go. That's how you win.
But yeah, I think I agree. I think of the winners that although she would not be my pick to win of the winners, I think that she is probably the one who's going to make the furthest of the winners.
Yeah. Well, Ingrid, you get the next pick. Who's going to be your next pick?
I'm sad because so many people that I wanted are gone.
She like 2 rounds ago, she pointed to like 3 people, and they were all taken just by Matt and then by Zach.
Yay. But I guess with what's left, I'm gonna pick somebody that is very high variance. But I do lean that there is a good amount of upside, and that's gonna be Jenna Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, she is very high variance. It's been so long since she's played. And that could be good or bad for her. Like, she's literally lived almost my whole life since she played Survivor last. And so she's such a different person than she was the last time, which I'm really excited about. It's crazy to me that she's here with someone she's played with before. Like, her and Colby both being here is insane. But I think that there's a big world where she comes in hot and gets voted out early because of that. But I also think there's a world where she like recognizes who she is and says to the other people, like, teach me how the game works, and like lets people like see her in that light, and then kind of uses that to her advantage. So she's somebody who's very difficult to read, but I'm really excited that she's here. And I'm excited to see what she can do. And I think that in terms of screen time, they are absolutely going to capitalize on the fact that she's from the first season, bring it up as much as they possibly can, and let her talk about it as much as they possibly can. So at least I'll have that.
Yeah, she's going to get a lot of material when she's in the game. My only thing is kind of what Matt said with, like, he wants to root against his favorite Kyle, so Camilla has a better game, which he can't believe he's doing. I have to root against the Borneo player because she's targeting Cerise so tough out the gate.
Right, and that's scary. I don't know if that's going to do something or not.
And the problem is they're on the same tribe. And if she wasn't on the same tribe, I'd be like, that's fine. But she's been so vocal. She's like, Suri needs to go. Suri needs to go. Now, here's the thing. Once you get on the island, things can change. Suri has a mist. And they're both old school women on this tribe. So I do hope there's a world where they can make amends and be okay.
I think that Jenna does lose that battle if she decides to
I think that's my worry, and I kind of need it to happen for Suri to go forward. I kind of need Jenna to fall. But here's the hope, is that they win some immunities anyway with Ozzy and Joe. They won't even need to go to tribal. And the people on her tribe, I think Rick Devens is becoming a bit of a problem at Ponderosa preseason, that people are a little wary of him, and people are obviously already wary of Savannah. So my hope is just that maybe, she voices Suri and everyone's like, we can't do that right now, maybe later. But like right now we should go for, Devens or Savannah, or even like a Christian or Emily. So one of these newer kind of really smart people. I think Jenna should link up with Suri. I think that's a good, like, do the mom squad thing. Link up with Suri, try to get with Angelina, try to get with, who are the other moms? Aubrey is a mom, Tiffany's not a mom, right? Chrissy. Like Chrissy, like, I think you could try to link up with the moms. Like that could be a good strategy, but I'm worried she's so hard on Suri because of the last time she played, she was going after the winners and only the winners. So that would be great if she can get Savannah out, but then like next up on her pecking order is probably Suri. So I'm just worried for her that she's going to lose that battle, but I don't think she's going to be first, only because I think that tribe is going to win some. They're not the disaster tribe, which is good. So I do hope we get to see her at least go to like the mid pre-merge portion, if not the merge.
Has she said anything about targeting winners this time? Is she
targeting winners? I don't know about winners specifically. The only one I remember very visibly was Suri, only because they're on the same tribe, so I took note of it. But, I think everyone in general is kind of looking at Savannah as a target. Not as much Kyle, only because I think they want him for challenges, because they don't know Savannah broke the record for challenges, so like, or tied it. So they don't know she's good at challenges, which I think is also another notch against her. But thoughts on Jenna Lewis, Matt?
I'm excited that she's on it because I did watch Survivor as it aired, and so I'm very excited. Like I'm the person that they're banking on being excited about her being there. And I think she's going to be all right. I don't think she's going to be such like she's not going to. I don't think she's going to be a liability where they feel like they need to get rid of her sooner. I don't feel like she's going to be such a threat that they are going to worry about her either. I think she's going to do well. I think she's going to do well enough, and I think it's going to get some points. I didn't know the thing about Suri, but as you said, Suri's got that mist, and I think that Jenna is exactly the kind of person that Suri could take under her wing and embrace, and they could be a nice force together. So
I mean, everyone targets Suri until they talk to her for 5 seconds.
Right. True. Yeah, and that's the thing. Suri always has a target going into the season, and then like episode 1 of Game Changers, it's a lot of like, oh, Suri, and I'm like, oh shoot, and then like episode 2, she's fine.
And she got 0 votes that season.
Right, exactly. Because her tribe never went to tribal council before the merge, granted, but still, she was targeted in episode 1. I think Ozzy was the one who was looking at her like, I don't trust her, and it ended up being okay. So I really think Suri will be fine. Hopefully Jenna will be fine too. I just don't know why you would go for the Borneo player first, unless she's just coming in so hot, because I'm like, there are definitely bigger fish to fry. I think these early players like Jenna, Colby, Steph, like I would not be threatened by them. But again, if they're vocal, who knows? Maybe that's why they'll do well. Austin?
Yeah, I'm worried about her. I even said this on the car ride here to Ingrid. I was like, I think if Jenna does try to go for Suri, like she could be first boot of this tribe, even above Savannah. But like her and Savannah are the two people from this tribe that I have the most concerns about early booting here. I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see what she brings. But I worry for her.
Yeah. Carly, any thoughts on Jenna?
No, I mean, I think it is lucky that she has Joe and Ozzy on her tribe. So they might not have to go to tribal right away. So that might help a little bit. But
and yeah, Ozzy, there's a little bit of a connection there, the off-screen connection. I don't know if anyone's picking up what I'm putting down, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so maybe that'll unite them too. I don't know. That was a bad joke. But Carly, continue. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh no, yeah, that was just about it. Just I don't really remember her very well, but I think it's always awesome just having someone from the first season on the 50th season. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Austin, you do get your next pick, so you will get someone you're at least a little more confident in than Jenna. Who are you gonna pick? Some pretty good names out there.
No, there's two, and I'm trying to read Carly's mind to know if there's a world where I get both of these people if I pick the right one now. Because here, I'm gonna explain. I'm not gonna say who the two are, but I'm gonna preface it with: there's two left. There's one that I think makes it farther than the other, but I think the one that makes it less far is the one Carly might be more likely to pick between the two. So if I want to get both, I feel like I have to go with the one that I think doesn't make it as far.
It's like the game of Survivor. It's do or die.
I have twice now not gone with my heart pick between the two. And I do have a heart pick between the two here. So for this pick, I'm going to go with my heart just because I would really love to have this person on my team. And I will be taking Chrissy Hoffbeck.
Good pick. Good pick.
No, damn it! Carly side! Carly had a side for leave.
I missed it. Was Carly not going to pick Chrissy?
No, I was not. She's of my next three, she's the third. So.
Oh, Austin just pulled a Dylan, an Angelina.
It's okay. I'm hoping that the other two are not the other person, though.
Well, talk on Chrissy, though, because it's a great pick. It's great.
I love her. I love Chrissy Hoffbeck so much, and I was so devastated when she lost Triple H. I think she's great. I think she's extremely smart. I do get that there are some social shortfallings for her that I'm hoping that she has learned from and corrects a little bit this season. But I don't see people targeting her. I do worry, is there a world where Chrissy has a couple of zero confessional episodes and I lose a point or two here or there? I think so. I don't think she's necessarily this big personality that's going to get a ton of airtime. But she still has the chance to win an immunity challenge here or there. She is on that tribe with Jonathan that could be winning a lot of challenges early on. And I think they'll keep Chrissy in for puzzle purposes, especially if they end up booting Camilla early. Because I think that Camilla is definitely the target before Chrissy is on that tribe. So yeah, I think Chrissy will do very well. And I just really like her. So even if Carly takes the other person I wanted, I will be at peace knowing that I have Chrissy Hoffbeck still.
It's a great pick. I think it's a great pick also because I think next to Tiffany, she has the smallest threat level. I think, honestly, some people in the casual community probably don't even remember who she is just because it has been so long. And the only person to return from that season is Ben and then Desi on the challenge. So I'm of the rare opinion where I didn't like Ben or Chrissy. I wanted Devin or Ryan. And I think, Matt, you might share that with me as well. I know you liked Ryan a lot. But I think of the two, obviously, I think Chrissy should have beat Ben. But I do really like Chrissy. I like the idea that she's here just because she's not with anyone else from her season, but she's still from that era that no one's really returned from. her and Devon's feel very similar, but she's even less visible than Devon's. I'm really excited for Chrissy. I really am. I'm excited to see what she brings. I don't see a world where she's an early boot. I have her going mid-merge only because I also just don't know if she's going to be the winner of this. It just doesn't, in my heart, I don't see her as the winner of the 50th season of Survivor. Probably just because selfishly, I don't think she's a big enough player character, but I'd love to see her or Tiffany have like a Wentworth like story where like you do establish your legend status. And the good news is Jeff has kind of kept her alive, because every time there's an immunity challenge for women kind of breaking that record, Rachel and Savannah now, Chrissy's always brought up. She's always talked about with like Jenna Maraska and Kim Spradlin. So I like how Chrissy still maintained her spot in the history while also not overstaying her welcome to where she's not like the biggest threat. So I think she's got a really good upside for this season. I'm really excited for her. So Matt, I know you're a Ryan stan, but do you like Chrissy?
This one is interesting because this is the biggest question mark for me, because we rewatched here at my house. We rewatched all of the seasons of people who were coming back, especially because my wife had never seen any of them, except for the last few seasons that we have watched together.
Right.
So we rewatched all of them except for Triple H. That's the only one we did not watch.
You got 3 days
because. Yeah, mostly because it was not like it just if I'd get to pick, I'd be like, oh, we have to go here next, and this was the least interesting one, and I just really didn't want to watch Ben watch a full season of Ben cashing in immunity idols. Like that's and so I liked Chrissy. If as far as my memory serves, I actually didn't remember that Ryan was on that season until you just said it, and I was like, yeah, I liked him more of in like a journey situation. Like I liked his journey a lot, and so I had rooting interest for him. But honestly, I don't. That season is so not memorable to me that I don't really have much to say, except I remember Ben cashing in a bunch of idols.
Ben bombs. Yeah, Ingrid, what are your thoughts on Chrissy?
I like her a lot. I think that it having been so long is both a blessing and a curse for her. I think it's a blessing in the sense that like people aren't looking at her as much as they're looking at a lot of other people, but the curse is now she's that many years older, and that could make things more difficult for her. Like I don't know what kind of shape she's in versus the way she was back then, and things like that. She's like the second oldest on the whole cast, I think, maybe third.
Yeah. Who's the oldest?
It depends. I think Suri is the oldest. Chrissy and Mike are tied for next oldest.
Yeah, which also really weird that they're the same.
Well, didn't she have like a double mastectomy too, or something like? Or
she survived cancer too. Yeah,
cancer. So like, and that's really amazing. But also like maybe her body is not as strong as it used to be. Kind of like an Ethan Zahn situation, although he had cancer several times. But like, yeah, I think it's crazy to me that we took this long to pick her, but also I kind of get why we took this long to pick her also. So I hope she does well, but I don't really know. She's kind of a question mark for me.
Yeah. Carly, any last thoughts on Chrissy, and then we can segue to your next pick?
Yeah, I think she's a good pick because she doesn't have a high threat level, because I feel like she's not viewed as robbed as like people like Charlie or other almost winners. So I feel like her threat level will be pretty manageable. And I'm just excited to see her just because she's been through so much since she was on last. I'm really curious to see like what her personality is like and if it's changed that much. But I agree with Matt. The season's not very strong, but I do like Chrissy. Cool. She was always fun to root for. So
all right. So Carly, the benefit of being last in the drafts for these are there's no 5 rounds, there's only 4. So you are getting the last 2 picks on your board.
I know.
So what are you gonna pick?
All right. So I am going to pick. I wanted to pick him earlier, but I was like, no, I can probably get him later. My little chaos demon, Q.
Yep.
I love him so much. He's going to get so many confessionals. He's going to cause so much chaos. QOS. Oh my gosh.
He's going to be the first boot. I'm kidding.
That is why he is lower for me. Is because he might be the first boot. He very well might be the first boot, depending on how crazy he's going to be. Just every interview I've seen with him, I'm just like, beautiful. Like I don't know. I feel like he's high all the time. Like the things he says are just no logic. No, there is logic. There's Q logic, but like it's just I love him. I love him so much. So even if he is the first boot, I will be happy that I have him on my team.
I love the Q butte. I will say he is the person who, even if he's first, is still going to get you like 10, 15 points. Like I just don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to do it.
He's going to mention Gabon.
He is my first.
I was about to say he's most likely to mention Gabon, I think.
Yes,
he has not seen Gabon. Get out of here.
He's gonna be like, I know you love your HD on your TV. Remember where that started? Gabon.
You can cancel HD.
Yeah, cancel HD.
If he says that, we have to clip it.
I love Q as a character. I think he'll be the first boot of the season personally, just because looking at the tribes, I don't know how the tribes with Jonathan, Ozzy, and Joe lose to that other tribe, that purple tribe. I just don't see it. That's why I think there's going to be an early swap. I think the purple tribe is probably going to lose like the first like 2 or 3 boots, which is why like I don't have so much faith in Q. Even though I'm looking at my list now, and the next 2 boots I have are from I put 3 different tribes as the bottom 3, but I do think Q is the most likely to be the first boot, just because no one wants to work with him except for Genevieve, but Genevieve is on his tribe, so and Tiffany also kind of is entertaining the idea of working with him. I think there are people who might work with him because they know he's chaos, but also like not gonna win. But I think I'd rather pick someone who's not gonna win, like maybe. I don't know, like an Angelina maybe than Q. Not because I picked Angelina, just because I'm looking at this list. I'm like, who else is chaos, but like what I more like to trust than Q. But I don't know. I hope he proves me wrong, just because I want him on my TV as long as possible. But I think his ceiling for episodes is maybe 3 or 4 episodes.
Probably.
The great thing about how long the first episode is going to be is that there's a reasonable chance that both Benjamin and Quantavius get booted out in the first episode.
Do you think we're getting 2 boots in the first episode? 3? What do you think? 2?
I think 2, but maybe
I think 2 for sure, maybe 3.
I think 2. I think that one thing they learned about going to 90 minutes is you get to spend more time with people. I think we're going to get 2 90-minute episodes.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say, based on I don't know if anyone else has read the episode description.
I have not, no.
Because I saw someone posted on Facebook. I think we might be getting 2 tribals and a medevac.
Oh,
there is an injury is mentioned in the description of the episode.
Oh boy. Well,
I don't say I hope that that's anybody, but
well, I will tell you.
Listen,
we got 3 injuries in Heroes vs. Villains first challenge. One of them is here now. We haven't picked her yet.
An injury does not mean a medevac, but
yeah, and the other one made it all the way to 5th place or 6th place, Mr. Rupert Bonham. So
what do we do if the medevac is Suri?
We can't.
Why are we even saying?
We also don't say that right now, Carly.
Carly has to leave. She doesn't get a last pick. She has to leave.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
She did a Q. Suri might get injured. Double whammy here, and we just can't have it.
Yeah, we could get two boots and a medevac, or because in my opinion, because they only have a certain amount of days and so many castaways, I wonder if all the challenges are going to be 1 winner and 2 tribals.
Yeah.
And if they do 2 90-minute episodes, that could be 4 boots in the premiere. I don't think that'll happen. But maybe we do like a challenge and the losing 2 tribes each boots someone, and then maybe there's a medevac and that's how we go. I don't know, but if that's the case though, then I think there's even more likelihood of Q going first, because the chances of them beating 1 tribe is tough. Chances of them beating 2 tribes probably 0.
You winning 0 is crazy. I'll just say about Q that I don't want him to go far.
Well,
oh, sorry, I didn't realize you weren't done, Matt. My bad.
Oh no, that's fine because we got off on the tangent there. I just want to say that although I am not a Q fan, I'm glad that Carly got Q because I know how much Carly loves chaos and Q. Yeah, I mean, it's at least going to be. Oh gosh, I don't even want to say it. I don't want to say it's going to be entertaining because I'm not entertained by him. And you know, I hope he plays his 2D checkers because he does not play 4D chess. And then leaves quickly. That's what I'm hoping. So
there you go. Austin, you said you didn't want him to go far. Do
Yeah,
any more?
I'm gonna echo what Ingrid said about my Jonathan pick, which is I'm so happy he's on your team, Carly, because it means he's not on mine.
I love it.
And the fact that I'm not, this is, I mean, one, Carly's being here, so it's not. In almost every draft I've done, Q has been the one left over at the end.
If there are no Q fans, Carly is dead. So we're glad she's here.
Exactly.
I just have very low expectations. I will say I was a huge Q hater in 46 when I saw that the preview for the season and he had his little moment. You can cancel this. I did chuckle. I said, okay, I get it a little bit. Said I get it a little bit more. It did make me laugh. But yeah, I think this man is in danger.
Nice. Ingrid.
Y'all already know how I feel about Q.
If there are no Q haters, Ingrid's dead.
This man, guys, this man tried to quit Survivor so many times. And they said, you know what we want to do? We want to bring that on to another season that other people really want to play. I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say.
That's another reason I had him so low, because there's a non-zero chance he quits.
If these people see him and he says, we lost the challenge, it's my fault, vote me out. You know what they're gonna do? Vote him out.
Yeah.
I hope they do. And I hope they do.
And then Riz God plays the idol on Q and blindsides.
And then I don't like
Kyle.
him anymore.
Don't say that about Riz God, Dylan.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, don't say that about my friend Riz God.
Chaos Tribe. Q is on the best tribe for him, though. I think I'll say that.
I don't know. Steph has it out for Q.
True. Steph has it out for Q. Aubrey has it out for Q.
That's dumb. That is Steph.
Steph and Aubrey, the Q enders.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, Carly. Round us out though. Who's gonna be your final pick?
It's hard because I do want to pick the love of my life because she's still here, but I can't pick the first and second boot. So I'm gonna go with another character I really like, who some people think is robbed. I think Kenzie deserved to win, but I am gonna pick Charlie.
Yes,
I do. Oh, you didn't want Charlie?
I didn't want Charlie.
Because I do think it's a little risky picking him because he has such a big narrative around him that he was robbed and he deserved to win, and that he's a good strategist. So I think there is a good chance he goes early, but I think if he can play it right, I think he will he could find idols. He's gonna rack up certain things. So I think he can get me a decent amount of points. I don't know that he ever wins, but yeah.
I'm really worried for Charlie only because I think of all the big threats of the new era where it's the 3 winners, and then I would also say Genevieve's a big threat, and I'd say Charlie's also in that 5. Charlie knows he's a big threat, but is also this whole season's big threats. I'm fine. And wants to play a more aggressive game because he said he played the last game too clean and too safe. I love that. But on a season where you actually want to win it, I think that's the wrong move for him. I think he should play exactly the same game he played. And the problem is he wants to switch it up on a tribe with Coach and Jonathan, all the people that he probably could just play the same game with and go very far with. But he's going to instead play, I think, a little too hard. And people like Chrissy, people like Dee, Tiffany, Camilla, the 4 of them, the 4 ladies are going to be like, I think he's more threatening than Coach and Jonathan, maybe even more so than Mike White, because Mike White, at least you could just cut him whenever. But Charlie, I'm really worried for Charlie. I think of all his tribe, next to Camilla, I think he's actually the second boot, maybe even before Mike White. I'm really worried for Charlie. I hope I'm wrong. But I do think as long as he's there, CBS loves him. He'll still get some confessionals, especially about Taylor Swift. If he makes it 2 or 3 episodes, maybe we'll even see a Taylor Swift episode title. But I'm worried for Charlie. I think he's going to need to rely on the fact that him and Coach Wade are friends. Because I know Coach loves him, but everyone else, I'm like, oh, I really hope he's able to get his grounding and realize that he's a big threat and plays like he is a big threat. I'm a little worried for Charlie, but I don't know. Thoughts?
Charlie and Benjamin are friends?
Yeah, I think Ben Katzman, second runner-up of Kenzie and Charlie's season, is in a band that I think has toured with Coach. I think Coach plays trumpet. And Ben Katzman and Coach are good friends. Both
Yes,
Charlie
that
and
is
Coach,
true.
when asked who the last person from Survivor community they talked to, they both said Ben Katzman, meaning I could see a lot of pre-gaming with Charlie and Coach going on right now. And if that's the case, then they could link up with Camilla and they could be fine. The three of them. Who knows?
Maybe. I was simultaneously surprised that Charlie went so late, and then also not surprised because I also didn't want to touch him. Like I didn't want him. Like I love him. I don't think he was robbed. I think the right person won that season. But I do love him, and I could see him doing very well if he did not have that Rob narrative with him. I think that is his biggest problem. But on the other hand, you pointed out like almost everybody is a big threat in this season. So we may be thinking too much in the narrative, in the internet narrative, and not enough in how the Survivor players think. So he could do really well, but he is a wild card in terms of how well he's going to do.
Yeah, period. Austin, Ingrid, thoughts on Charlie?
You go first because I'm going to have a pick.
Well, the Swiftie in me loves Charlie, obviously. And I agree that I believe that the right person won 46. So I'm not I'm happy he's here because I do think he deserves another shot because he's a great player, but I'm also worried about him just like everybody else. He's another one to me, kind of like Chrissy, where it's a question mark. Like he could do well under good circumstances. If this tribe doesn't go to tribal, he has the ability to make some bonds that might serve him well in a swap or a merge, things like that. And I think that that tribe has a high chance of not going to tribal. But you could say the same thing about almost anybody else on that tribe. So I do, I hope he's around, but I don't know. I think also him being, I know there's a couple of them on here, but him being an On Fire podcast co-host, they were starting to talk about it in the preseason a little bit, though those that had been a part of that. So both and mostly in a I want to be the only one on the season type of way. So I don't necessarily think that could go well for him. I mean, it's like him, D,
Rick, Devins,
Genevieve?
No, just those three.
Just those three. Well, anyway,
Rachel was.
I know that D was talking about it, especially where she was like, I want Charlie to go early because I want to be the On Fire co-host that's here, blah, blah, blah. So especially if they're on the same tribe, that could be interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's definitely been a lot of that idea of all three of them have said it, that of Rick, Charlie, and D in a lot of like the preseason press I've heard say like there's not room for this many On Fire podcast co-hosts. So I don't know. And Jonathan's also gunning for Charlie early. That was like Jonathan's first week just because he doesn't think that he can really relate to Charlie. Not that I think Jonathan's going to have much influence on his
by that.
But I don't know. I was always kind of so on Charlie, even in 46. I also am of the mindset he wasn't robbed. He's meh to me.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the most vanilla of all the characters, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think if anyone's, but the problem is he was an On Fire podcast host, so I don't necessarily know if they're going to give him 0 confessionals. But I could see him, if he does make it far, I could see him getting an episode or 2 where he's purpled or he doesn't get a confessional. But I don't know. All right, Austin, you do have the next pick though. Who are you going to pick? Because it seemed like you were happy Carly didn't take him or her.
Yes. So I will say, if those were the two and then it was Chrissy, I still was correct in which of Christy or this other person Carly was more likely to pick. It just so happened that Carly wasn't going to pick this person either. And it's crazy because this is the person that I looked at Ingrid like going into my second pick, and I pointed at this person and Jonathan and was like, which one? And I misinterpreted what she told me, which was she thought that I thought she was saying that she thought Jonathan would last longer in the game, but she meant that Jonathan would be around longer in the draft than this other person.
Which we now know.
Which we now know was also probably true, but this other person's still here. And I do think this person's going to do well. And also just comparing this person to who's left, I think they're going to do better than everyone else that's here. So I'm going to take Stephanie Kendrick LaGrossa, or LaGrossa Kendrick, whatever the order of it is. I will take Steph. And outside of Survivor views aside, I am excited to see Stephanie here. I do love the Stephanie story. I think Stephanie, I love the story of Palau. I personally really enjoy Stephanie in Guatemala. I know she is kind of like that villain, and some people don't like that side of her. And she doesn't win because of that. But I think strategically she played Guatemala really well, and I don't think people really always remember that Stephanie has some good strategy chops to her. She looks like she's still in phenomenal shape. I could see I don't think Stephanie is pre-merge of this season. Especially looking at her tribe, I think she's unless we have another situation in here as villains where they're like, Stephanie's the curse and that's why we're losing all these challenges. Unless we get that narrative being pushed about Stephanie, I don't see a world where Stephanie is one of the people targeted early on this tribe. And then
her tribe doesn't end with an ONG, so you're good.
Yeah. So then if she can reconnect with a Suri plans on taking Stephanie under her wing. So I don't know. I think Stephanie's got longevity. I think she's in great shape to potentially win an individual immunity challenge or two. So I think there's some points there. And I will say, I think it's low. It's very low. I'm not saying that this is a prediction I have, but I think there is a non-zero chance of Stephanie winning the season. I think there is a path for her to do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think she is someone who is always going to go deep. I mean, obviously didn't on Heroes vs. Villains, but that was a little different. She also was clashing with James.
The whole thing of Tom was there, and that was also why she wanted
pregame stuff. Yeah, because this thing, everyone knows someone except for who are the people on an island? Like Genevieve, Chrissy, and Devins, who haven't played with anyone else. I think everyone else has at least played with one other person on the season. So I really do think that works really well for Stephanie's benefit. And the thing is, I'm not as convinced she's going to win, only because I think I was a huge Stephanie fan from Survivor, Palau, Guatemala. I even liked her on Heroes vs. Villains, despite only being there for 2 episodes. My biggest thing, though, was watching her on Traitors. She seems a little too passive and a little less cutthroat than she was, and I just don't know if she still has it because the game has evolved so much, whereas Suri has been really keeping with the time well. And the other thing is, is she going to want to work with Suri after Traitors? I don't know. But I hope she
has
does.
said that she wants to a point. She said that she's just not going to be blinded to take her too far.
Yeah, and I worry that other people are going to either get her out from Suri's bidding and Suri's going to do it again to her, or she's going to go after Suri, get Suri out, and then get no respect from a jury because of it. I don't know. Just because I don't necessarily know if also she's going to bond with people as well as she did because of all the political stuff. I don't know how many people are looking at that or not, but she is pretty, outspokenly right wing. So I do think there's a potential that some people, especially she's on a tribe with Aubrey and Angelina and Genevieve. Well, Genevieve's not American, but I do also see a world where she could get in.
Not American.
But I do see a world where her more conservative views aren't necessarily meshing well with the people around her. But she is also on a tribe with Colby, who is a little bit more conservative too, which is not a bad thing because Survivor's a walk of life. All walks of life. It's fine to be whatever political leaning you are, as long as you're not dangerous about it. But I do think Steph is someone who might not necessarily be as prime for a win as she was in her prime, to where I think she's a supporting character at best, but still probably going to go far. So I'm excited for her. Matt, what do you think about Stephanie, considering you're such a fan of all the oolongs and pugongs and all the disaster time?
And I'm a big fan of Palau also, and I agree with Austin that I thought she was great in Guatemala. I love her in Guatemala. I didn't know about the MAGA stuff until this episode, until earlier when you said it. And that upsets me. It does. I knew that people kept talking about like rants she was going on, but I hoped that they were just drunken rants. I didn't realize they were right wing and you know, whatever. But that is upsetting. But pretending I don't know that, I will say that I love Stephanie. I was very excited. If I got another pick, which technically I do, but I don't get to pick anything, it probably would. And she was still there, it probably would have been Stephanie. Or there's two. So if I get the other one, awesome. But I can't choose. Anyway, I really like Stephanie. I had high hopes for her, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of reeling from this whole she's politically weird thing. So
yeah, and I don't know honestly how outspoken she is. I think it's just one of those things with like in the Survivor community, if there is one, it's very visible. It's almost like you immediately get like more laser focused on because you're different, in a way that like Sarah Lacina was too, even though she was very much pro Zeke when that whole Varner Zeke thing went down. So it's like it's very interesting, like how many, you know, how you get a different version on the island than you do in real life too. And because like Suri and Steph are still really good friends, so at least I think so. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
I don't really know all the details on that, but Ingrid, thoughts on Steph LaGrossa?
So what you have to know about me is that there are 3 seasons of Survivor that I have not watched. And 2 of those are Palau and Guatemala.
Wow.
So my thoughts on Steph are very uninformed. The only time I've ever seen her play is in Heroes vs. Villains, and that was not a good look for her. Necessarily. It wasn't like a bad look.
Tomorrow.
I love Guatemala. I think it's great.
Watch Palau and Guatemala.
Every time I think about Guatemala, I see like Bobby John puking into the lens of the camera, and then
we'll skip that part
about that, and I get upset.
I hate Bobby John, but I love both of those seasons. So
Matt, we're best friends now because I hate Bobby John.
No, Matt is my best friend. You cannot take him from me. I will watch them for you, not for him. But so like everything, all my opinions are like with a grain of salt because I truly have not like seen the experience. But also I keep not watching Palau because I'm so angry about what they did to Wanda and Jonathan that I'm like. Fuck this, I don't want to watch the rest of it.
That's fair.
But but I don't know. I'm not like a huge fan of her.
So I say you don't really have much to say about Steph.
I'm not like a huge fan of her. I don't have like a huge.
Did you watch her on Traitors?
I did watch her on Traitors. Even that, I was just kind of like, eh.
I don't remember her. I know she was there, but I don't remember anything about her time on Traitors.
She made it far really cool, just by trusting Suri.
Yeah. And she trusted Suri. And yeah, I do worry about that relationship a little bit because I do think it's a little bit one-sided in both directions. Like I think they think differently about the relationship. So if they both make it to a point where they can be together, I am worried about that a little bit. But yeah, I do think that she's in good shape. So like she is going to benefit her tribe in that way. So she probably won't go super early. But I don't see her winning either. But also I just like, she's kind of a whatever factor to me.
Carly, any thoughts on Steph?
I also have not seen her 2 seasons because I have my blind spot from Amazon to China. So her seasons are right in the middle of that. So like I've seen clips and stuff of her. She's fine. She was also on Snake in the Grass, and apparently she was awful on it. Like
I've also heard
very good at all from what I've heard. But no, I don't know. I think it's a good pick because I think she'll get skunked every once in a while, but I think you could get some points from her. Like I think there is a high ceiling. It's just a matter of what she does on the season. Like no one's going to be targeting her. Yeah, she could be final 3, honestly, because I can't see a lot of people trying to get her out.
Especially if we're all manifesting a Suri win. Like I could see a world where Suri wins with like Steph and Ozzy in her back pocket, or Steph and Colby, or something like that, you know. Speaking of, Colby's still on the board with the 2 winners and Michael White. So Ingrid, you have the pick. Which of the 4 are you picking?
This is a heart pick exclusively.
Okay.
if she goes home first, it's going to be okay because she's on my team, and that's my best friend, Savannah Louie. Please and thank you.
Best friend is not correct, but go on.
I love that woman.
Wow, see what she's doing, Matt? She already discarded you.
No. I don't know her like that.
Matt from our tribe.
I don't know her like that. But I love her so much. I'm so worried for her on this season. There's so little upside to her right now, but also like part of me wonders, like when she gets on the island, can she work some magic? I don't know. She's on like a tribe that might be difficult to do on. But I do think that she has like, everybody is like, oh, she has that Parvati quality about her. And I'm like, yeah, which means she could also do really well, like low key.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought Parvati wasn't going to do well on Heroes Villains or even in Micronesia. And she did extremely well on both of those seasons.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to counter out 100%. So I'm going to counter out like 90%.
The more Parvati, the more people knew what her game was, the better she did.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me because it's like people are so worried about 49, so worried about that. But like I said, every person who was on a back-to-back season that has returned so far has made the merge at minimum. And has been on the jury at minimum. So there is a chance, that she makes it that far, especially if her magic works on any of these people, which it might not. I hope it does because I love her so much. And even if she's first boot, I'll be okay because I have Savannah on my team.
Yeah, I love Savannah. She obviously watches the show, so like shout out Savannah. We're rooting for you.
We love you
but
so
I
much.
I feel like of all the players, she is next to Camilla probably the most screwed on the season because it's just like you can't give her, like, even if she was on 48, at least then she would have the game tape to work around. But I think the unknown is even scarier than the known, just because of the Russell thing too. But again, she's on a tribe where I could see a world where like Cerie's like, I need a bigger threat in front of me. Christian and Emily seem pretty open to working with many people. Joe is a loyalty-based player. Ozzy's usually a loyalty-based player. The only two who I could see not really working with her are Jenna. And then I can even see Devins working with her because they're both newscasters. But Devins doesn't know that though. So I don't know. Maybe Savannah will use that, but I don't know. I'm a little worried.
And he's also from Georgia.
Yeah.
So there's some connections there.
I think she could find an inroads. I think this is the best tribe for her of the three winner tribes. Like I think she'd do even worse on the tribe with Q or on the tribe with D. Well, I guess she wouldn't be with D, but like with Camilla. So I think she's better position than she would be on the other two tribes, but the saving grace is Ozzy and Joe both being on her tribe to win her challenge, where I don't think she'll be first boot, but if she goes to tribal, I think she's done.
It'll be interesting to see if her and Rizzo ever meet up in this game and what that does, because there's also a world where they don't want them together unless they try to downplay it and say, well, we were enemies on the season, blah blah.
And the problem is they've been sitting apart from each other in Ponderosa, apparently, and everyone's already clocked it. They're like, there's no way you would spend so much time trying to avoid sitting next to someone unless you were trying to hide the fact that you were close. That's what Emily Flippin clocked in her little preseason interview. So
no, they're on the same tribe.
She's smart. Okay. Sorry. I don't know if I'm contradicting myself from earlier, and if I am, it's just because I hadn't considered this yet. But the fact that Savannah is going this late is actually, this is a value pick. And yes, I know we keep talking about the winners and how they're not going to do very well, but considering the tribe she's on, she is an unknown entity, and she's so smart. I feel like she's got a better chance than we have been giving her credit for so far. I think that she has. I think there's a lot of value, and I think that she I think that she's well loved enough, or at least in my house, is well loved enough that that she's probably going to get some confessionals, and that we're going to see some stuff from her, especially because of how recently she won. But I do need to say one thing, Savannah, if you are watching, Ingrid is my best friend. Okay, I need you to back off. That's all I'm saying. I love you. And if you want to hang out with the three of us, that's fine.
Yeah, we can be a friend group. We can be a friend group.
Ingrid is my best friend, so thank you.
I will
Best
say,
of matching hair.
I
and
will
that's important
say,
to me.
Savannah is my best friend.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
So, little just side quest story. I watched. I have my Survivor Club at school, and we watched all of 49 like week by week. And going into finale, I was like, this would be really fun if I could like reach out to some of the 49 players to see if any of them would like either get on like a Google Meet call or at least send in like a video to like say something to the kids that are watching. And so I sent a message out to all of the final like six
from Steven
onward. I think I didn't send any to Sage because I wasn't like her Instagram was private or whatever. Yeah. So, but I sent a message to all the rest. And within 10 minutes of me sending the message, Savannah replied and was like, I would absolutely love to do this. She was like, I'm going to be on a flight. Like, cause I reached out like 2 days before I needed the video or like the day before. She's like, I'm going to be on a flight, so I won't be able to do it, but like, I can try to record something, and send it to you. So I messaged her. She said like, send me questions. Like she gave me her email. I emailed it to her. And she got me a video literally while I'm showing the finale to the kids, because she actually said that she tried to send it the night before, and I on a whim, I wasn't getting anything, I wasn't going to be stressed, but like I just like sent her a message like, hey, like just so you know, like we're about to get ready to like start watching the episode, I haven't gotten the video, like are you like gonna get it, are you gonna be able to get it? Like no worries if you can't, I understand it's a busy day. It's like the day after the finale aired. And she was like, oh my gosh, I sent it earlier. I can't believe it didn't send. And then she was like, let me connect to the airplane Wi-Fi to try again. And like she connected, she got it sent. And then me and her messaged for like the rest of that day. And then like for like literally for like 3 days straight, me and Savannah were just like exchanging like Instagram DMs. It was amazing. It was wonderful.
This man is everyone's best friend.
So I would love nothing more than Savannah to do incredible. It would also make a lot of my Survivor kids mad because they didn't like Savannah. By the finale, about half the club was rooting for her by the finale episode. But like, you have to understand, high school kids don't like things like when someone dives for a set of keys on the ground. They think that's crazy, which it is a little crazy. But as like an old school, it's such an old school move for her to do that I loved it. But like for younger kids, they're like, that's mean.
Yeah. Were they Riz God fans?
They were, and then they weren't, and then they went back and forth. Their favorites on the season were Steven was like everyone's like front runner, and then a lot of them really like Soph as well. Mm-hmm. Like those were their two that they really like fell in love with and liked. But I will say, as we were watching the finale, about half the club started rooting for Savannah. There was even one girl who like two episodes ago, she was like, I had them like predict or write down who they wanted voted out, and this girl was like Savannah, and she's like, anyone that's not Savannah, I'm gonna be so mad if they don't give it. Like she was so anti-Savannah. We're watching the finale and Savannah wins like the final 5 immunity challenge, and the same girl who 2 episodes ago hated her started clapping, and I said, what the? She said, wait. She said, I guess I'm rooting for Savannah now.
That's great.
But yeah, I love Savannah. I would love nothing more than for her to do phenomenal things this season.
Well, and she's super high on the season, which means she's either the Tina Wesson who goes home early and is just grateful for the experience to be included and wants to stay in the good graces of CBS, or she does do better than we think, and she'll make a deeper run. So I'm really excited for her. Carly, as Savannah's best friend, what do you think?
I'm not her best friend. I'm her future wife. I just need to get her on board.
Okay.
So, Savannah, this is official proposal. If you are watching this one,
okay.
I'm obsessed with her. She's such a bitch, and I mean that as a compliment. Like, I love it.
Non-derogatory.
Yes, her social game is so bad, but like also so great. Like, I just love her so much, and like she has, like we were saying, she has old school vibes. Like I feel like, if she can get people to get past her threat level, I think she can work with a decent amount of people. Like she's very, I just love her. God, her diving for those keys. Gosh, she's just so good. If I had been in Ingrid's spot, I definitely would have picked Savannah here over the other 3, just because I love her so much. I almost picked her over Charlie, but I figured there's a good chance she's the first boot. But
No.
Yeah, I love her. She's so freaking good, and I will be very sad if she goes home first. But it's very possible.
There you go. Well, Matt, you're gonna have to pray that Zach doesn't pick either your winner pick that you nailed in Kyle or the creator of the White Lotus, which is it can't be a bad pick either way, because I'll be picking Colby with my next pick. I just think of the three left, I think he has the of the three probably the only shot to win. I really don't think Kyle or Mike White has a shot to win. Whereas Colby, if he gets to the end, there is a case where he can spin a narrative where he can win. I just worry that if he gets to the end, it will be because he was a number 2 or number 3 to someone, not because he ran the strategy of the game. But what I like about Colby in this preseason is that the last time we saw him, he was awful. I mean, he made it further than any of the other heroes, and but he clearly didn't have a great time. Wasn't there because he wanted to play the game. He was there to like soak up the experience and the wildlife and the nature of it all. And it was just very clear it wasn't the same Colby we loved growing up. The problem is he has now reignited his fire and now is hungrier than he's ever been, even more so than Australia, to actually play the game and win the game. And that is either going to mean he's either going to fizzle out because he's way out of his league or out of his depth or whatever, or he's going to actually surprise a lot of people. And I think either way, he is the original golden boy, he's the original hero of the game. And I just think there's no way we're not going to see him in a ton of footage, no matter how late he goes. If he goes pretty deep, maybe there's a chance they kind of even out his screen time. But if he is a mid-merge or even early merge or even a pre-merge boot, I still think we'll see him a lot on our screens. I think there's a very likely chance he gets one of the first confessionals of the season and is a big focus of the premiere just because it's Colby. I mean, he is like what built Survivor. It was like Colby, it was Richard Hatch, it was, I wouldn't even say Jenna was one of the big faces of the early portion. I think All Stars is where she kind of came out and really showed her prowess. But I think that original like era of the game, it's like Colby, it's Ethan, it's Tina, it's Richard, it's Sue, it's Rudy. It's like that's like your core like people who built Survivor. And then you would get into your Boston Robs and Vesepias and all that. But I do think he is a big reason why Survivor is still on the air. And I think they're going to really honor that. And I'm just excited to see him now with a reinvigorated, you know, kind of burning desire to play hard, because you have some players like Ozzy who's like, oh, I'm going to play a more mature game. I'm going to play a more like kind of chill, cool game, when I'm like, you've already been so cool and chill. I want Ozzy to do really well. And I love Ozzy, but like Colby is someone who I think already did the cool, chill thing in Heroes vs. Villains. It wasn't very entertaining, or he was more entertaining because he was bad, but it wasn't in a good way. Whereas this one, I'm like really excited to now see him actually get a shot. Like I'm really excited to actually see him try when we haven't really seen him try. We've seen him try only because he made it to the end because he was well ingrained, but that was in the second season. We haven't seen him actually try with real competition and really like go for it and have a real shot at actually making a dent in the game. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of my depth, but he's also on the disaster tribe where I don't think anyone's going to be like, he needs to go, he's a problem.
Only Angelina.
Only Angelina, and it sucks because I do have them both, I just realized.
Yeah.
But the good news is whoever wins that battle, I think is fine going forward. And if they both lose the battle early and they both go out early, whatever, you know, I have a winner on my tribe too, but I at least have Benjamin Coach Wade to pick up the slack. So
Yeah.
I'm realizing I picked a pretty disaster tribe in my draft, but I don't care. I'm excited.
I have something to say if you're done.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
First of all, I put the Zach hat on because Zach almost got 4 people that were all in his top half of his list, because Colby was number 12 out of 24 for Zach.
Nice.
Now taking off the Zach hat, I want to jump back to our draft day really quick and say underrated quote, iconic quote that I wish we gave an honorable mention to that day that I just now thought of because we're talking about Colby on Heroes Villains, is in the premiere when he looks at Candace and goes, "Do you know any of these people?" Love that quote. But no, I'm excited because it was very clear in Heroes Villains that Colby no longer watched Survivor, showcased by asking Candace if she knew anyone when they were all on Survivor.
Right.
And it's very clear that Candace responds like, "I don't know them personally." Colby doesn't know who they are.
Yeah, he's like, "Who's James? Who's JT?" Yeah,
he
who's
doesn't
Coach?
know the existence of these people, whereas Candace at least knew who they were.
When you say Candace, do you mean Candace
Candace
From
from
Railroad Tribe?
Railroad Tribe. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
But like, I've heard that Colby watches Survivor now again. Like he's back into watching the show, so he's going to hopefully have some knowledge of the people. He's going to have some understanding of where the game's at. But I also just like, I'm just so excited to see Colby here. Like I regardless of how well he does, like I can't wait for the. Hold on, let me see who's on his tribe again, so I can pick the person I think is
Angelina,
likely to.
Q,
I can't.
Steph.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the scene between Rizzo and Colby where Rizzo is explaining the shot in the dark to Colby or something like some new school, new era player explaining something that is exclusively new era to Colby is something I'm really excited for. Like that scene. But
remember,
yeah,
he pulled off a big idol play at getting out Suri. So he didn't do it single handedly, but he did it with Tom and JT. So like, I think there's a potential he could.
Surprise. I also think of the three people you have left to pick from Dylan. This is the correct choice.
Yeah, it's the only one I think could actually win of the three. But Carly, thoughts on Colby?
He's boring. That was my thought when I first watched Australian Outback. I was like, okay, why do people like this guy? Like, because like it was him versus Jerry, and obviously I picked Jerry because she's beautiful, and I loved her. So like he was versus Jerry, so I was versus him. But I am excited that he has studied Survivor, and he seems like actually excited to like be on the show again. I just don't feel much for him. I don't think he's a bad pick at all, but I was never going to pick him just because all my picks are like heart picks to some degree. And
I will say, as much as I love Stephanie LaGrossa and Chrissy, I think one of their spots could have, or even Aubrey, which might be controversial, but I think one of their spots could have gone to Jerry Manthe. Just in terms of you're looking at like legacy of Survivor, like you need Suri there. I'm just looking at the old school women. I mean, Angelina hasn't gotten her second shot. You know what? Maybe over Jenna. Oh, you need Jenna for the Borneo. I'm literally just saying of those, I would put Jerry next after Suri, Angelina, and Jenna. I would put her above. I would say
give her Colby a spot.
Well,
but that's not how that works.
But
that's the appeal.
You need them both. I would like them both. But even then, like they can't replace a man with a woman, at least in their new like their rules. But I think next to Suri, Jenna, and Angelina, she should have been the next lock for old school women, more so than Aubrey, Chrissy, and Steph. That's not to say she shouldn't have replaced Aubrey. I would replace Steph
miss of the casting for me.
I think she's the biggest miss of the old school women. Her and Amanda Kimmel, personally, but only because we've seen the others play this newer school. Like we've seen Chrissy pretty recently, Aubrey pretty recently. We haven't seen Jerry since Heroes vs. Villains, and I would like to see it. But I'm still happy with the cast we got. And that wasn't to slight Aubrey. I'm very excited for Aubrey to make a return. It's just it's been so long since we've seen Jerry, and I want Jerry back.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll ever see Jerry again. Like this might have been her last chance.
Yeah, I think she kind of also wasn't very happy and let CBS know it. So Ingrid.
Just to finish up the Jerry conversation, and I'll talk about Colby also. The only thing I will say is I do think that her character arc on Survivor wrapped up very beautifully with Heroes vs. Villains. True. So as like sad as I am that she's not here, I'm still happy that she can't like tarnish that in any way by like going home early or something happening to her on 50. So there is at least that part of it. That being said, I'm really surprised that Colby is here without her. This is the first time that that's ever happened. And I'm very interested to see how that impacts him. Like him not having like a specific other person. Like, yeah, he's played with some of these people before, but like there isn't like a person that he's very specifically connected to, like Jerry.
Right. The most would probably be Steph,
or
just because they were working together on Heroes vs. Villains. I guess that's the closest thing.
That's the closest thing, but even then, it's not that close. So I'm interested to see, like everybody said, the whole thing of he is now more connected to Survivor than he was when he played Heroes vs. Villains. I am happy with either scenario because Colby on Heroes vs. Villains is so funny to me. But I'm also excited to kind of see this refined Colby and see if he can do anything with it or what he can do with it. So, I mean, he's here for a reason. So I'm excited to see what that reason is. other than being like the original golden boy.
Right. Matt, I'm
Yes,
curious because I remember, Matt, you either disliking Colby or disliking Tina, and I can't remember which one it is. So I'm curious.
It's both.
Okay.
But I don't dislike Tina. I'm not in the like she should have won. In fact, you say here that like he has the best shot of these three of winning. He couldn't win the one season he deserved to win. So
you are in the
joking.
Colby should have beat
making
Tina camp though, because I couldn't remember if you were in that camp. Okay.
I am in the Colby should have beat Tina camp. However, I also don't care about Colby at all. And he's boring, as Carly said, and especially boring without Jerry. Like, I agree that we should have had both of them, but if we could only like, I don't want I don't care about this one. I hope it gets you some points, but I just don't care.
Would you have, if you had the option of the 3 players left, now that we know you're gonna be left with whatever Zach doesn't pick, who of the 3 would you have wanted?
But Mike White, because I'm a big Mike White fan as a writer.
Cool. All right. So Zach, let us know, is Zach taking Mike White or Zach taking Kyle?
Matt from Raro Tribe, you get to have Mike White.
Nice.
Zach is taking Kyle.
Where was Kyle on his list?
So the people that were, I'll say this, the people that were below Kyle was actually quite a few. Working from the bottom up, his bottom was Savannah. Above that is Mike. So Mike was second to last for him. Then above that's Emily. Above that's Q. Above that's Chrissy. Above that's Ozzy. Then Charlie. Then Angelina. And then he has Kyle here.
Cool. All right.
So Kyle would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 16th on his list.
Cool.
Which now Austin speaking on about Kyle, I think Kyle is Q's only hope of not being the first boot of his tribe. I think one of these 2 men are the first boot of this disaster tribe. I just don't know which.
I'm rooting for Kyle to go home.
And
you don't think there's a world it's Rizzo or Genevieve or Angelina?
No.
Oh my God! Why have we said half the tribe?
I was gonna say it's a disaster
There's
tribe.
a world it could be Rizzo. I don't think it's a woman. I think these 4 women, I could see them coming together. Like I could see Genevieve, Angelina, Steph, and Aubrey linking up and then pulling in like Colby maybe.
Yeah.
Or pulling in Rizzo. So yeah, I'm leaning towards they either go for the winner that just won, or they go for the chaos. And I'm just not sure which one they would do first.
Yeah. I think the best thing about Kyle is that he's going to be good in challenges. And I think of that tribe, if you look, Colby, you know what? They're probably thinking, I'm wondering if they think Colby is going to be the challenge guy that they're stacking up with.
That's what I'm wondering too, because I'm looking
Colby does have the record. You know, it's Colby has the record, Ozzy has the record, and even Jonathan doesn't have a record, but Jonathan's like the
this picture that me and Ingrid have been working off of has Colby, Joe, and Jonathan lined up as like
they really are doing it.
These people.
Yeah, which is crazy that Ozzy isn't even one of them. But yeah,
I think like they did that intentionally with like.
I don't think they have a heavy on their tribe in terms of challenges. If anything, the best challenge performer might be Stephanie. And even then, I don't know because she dislocates her arm in Heroes vs Villains and then is on a disaster tribe in Palau. So I don't even know. I just think Kyle challenges is his saving grace, but once they swap, he's done. And so I think his ceiling is like 20th, 19th place, maybe. Maybe he could shock us, but I just think his season was just airing, and he was the guy who won it. And the only person who looked better than him was his partner in crime, Camilla, who's also here. That if like Coach really likes Camilla, Coach might be like, hey, well, let's get rid of Kyle because I want Camilla close with me. I don't want Camilla to have a target. So I'm worried for Kyle. I'm very worried for Kyle, and it sucks that he has to play in this circumstance too, because like. He should get to play when, like kind of when Tom played on Heroes vs Villains. He should have that much time before he comes back. He should have 10 seasons before we see him again. You know, because I think it just makes his threat level way too big. But as the person, I was going to ask Zach as the person who picked Camilla. So Zach gets Kyle and Camilla, guys. That's what we're looking at. So Matt, you did not get Kyle, but I know you love Kyle. So you want to talk on Kyle at all?
Yeah, Kyle, I I don't see much of a shot for him. I hope he does. It would be awesome if he has another really good run, but like I just don't have hope for him, so that's why I didn't pick him. Can I segue into my pick?
Yeah, I mean, Ingrid or Carly, do you have
I
anything to add
said
on
what
Kyle?
I said
I think
when I
Kyle
talked
will
about
kind of.
Camilla.
Yeah, like I'm rooting for him to go home because I want my beautiful Q to stick around. But other than that, I'm just kind of ambivalent about Kyle. It's like it's cool to have him here, but I agree. I think a longer break would have been better.
Cool. All right, Matt, segue to Mike White.
Okay, so I was going to like I said that I had that I had I knew I had one pick left, and there were two people, Stephanie or this other person, and the other person was Mike White, and that's just because I knew it was going to be the bottom of the barrel. He probably doesn't have a chance at winning unless anybody has a chance at winning. I mean, but he probably has it's low. I think he's going to get a lot of confessionals. But I'm a fan of Mike White in general. He's a good writer. White Lotus is obviously great. He wrote a Richard Linklater movie. Which was School of Rock, so whatever. But he also has a line or has a scene in a movie that lives rent-free in my head and has for 20 years. And that is in the movie Orange County, which he also wrote. He is an English teacher, but he is illiterate. And he asks his class, what do you think of when I say Romeo and Juliet? And someone says, Leonardo DiCaprio. And he says, that's right. And he says, but who else? And they say, Claire Danes. And he says, that's right. There's someone who's almost as important as those two, Bill Shakespeare. And for some reason that lives rent free in my head. So for that reason, I'm picking Mike White.
Nice. I love it.
Actually, I'm just stuck with Mike White, but I would have picked him anyway because I love him in general.
I think his ceiling is third place. I really don't think he wins just because I don't think anyone's going to want to give the guy who has a lot of money a win. But there is that sentimentality that a lot of people had of like, oh, like if he goes, I combined sentiment and mentality into one word. Sorry.
Sentimentality,
yeah, sentimentality. There's that sentiment or that mentality that if he goes to if we align with Mike White, he'll put us in White Lotus. I think enough people have been like, fuck that, especially Emily Flippin, who's like, absolutely not. He needs to go because of that, because everyone is going to. So I think Mike White's best play is actually being like, hey guys, you all get a cameo. Even if you fuck me over, you get a cameo. Or none of you get a cameo, even if you're my best friend. And I think that's probably his best play, just because I think too many people are going to be thinking of the meta of it and either want to get him out because they're like, you know what? He shouldn't skate by just because people think he's a celebrity and want him to put them on their TV show. But at the same time, I think there are going to be people who are like, we can't vote him out because we want to be on his TV show. So I think he has a very high variance. I also just think he's going to play the most passively. It's clear from his preseason he hasn't watched the show in a few years. And I just think he is someone who is there because he couldn't miss out on the 50th season. And he's an iconic name. He's going to bring a lot of viewership to the show. So he probably got a big pay to be on the show. And I really just think he's going to be content if he goes out first or if he wins. And so much so that he didn't even really fight to win the first time when he played a better game than the winner. I'll say it now. Sorry, don't marry your cousins. It's weird. But I just think that yeah, I just think that Mike White is just like one of the more interesting players this season because I genuinely don't know if he's going to be playing hard to win or if he's just going to be playing passively. But regardless, he's going to get a lot of confessionals, and I think that's going to be a key to doing well in fantasy, which I honestly think, regrettably, I'm like, maybe I should have picked Mike just because he might be more of a confessional machine than Colby. I just think Colby will probably go further, but I don't know.
I think Mike is going to play hard. I don't agree with that he'll be passive. I think Mike, from what I've seen, I feel like I've seen him saying a lot in these interviews of like, he doesn't expect to do well. He doesn't expect to be there for long. So I think he wants to just like make a mark and make 50 like crazy and fun and good. Cool. So I like that's what I think Mike is planning on doing, going in and just like hopefully going balls to the wall or going in trying to be chaotic and stuff like. So I don't think we'll see a passive Mike White, but I also don't think we'll see Mike White for long.
Yeah, that's good though. I want crazy Mike White, like especially because that tribe is probably the most like chill. I want him to bring some fireworks. You know, it's got Charlie on that tribe. You got like Tiffany, who's a little quieter. Like I need fireworks. You have Jonathan. I need Mike White to make fireworks.
I really just want Mike White with a glass of wine on the beach being a bitch about someone.
Yeah.
That's really all I really want.
Well, that's why I got the perception of like playing it a little bit more nonchalant, because he's like, listen, I don't need the money. I'm just here to have fun. I'm here. Like, I don't care. You know, I don't need this as much as everyone else. But at the same time, because of that, he could just be like, I don't need this more than anyone. I don't need the money. I'm just gonna go balls to the wall. So, yeah. Ingrid, thoughts on Mike White?
Yeah, he's wonderful. I think that we have the new era. With the new era, we have Mike White to thank for how it's gone, because he famously said to Jeff, "Well, is it fun?" And that is why the new era is the way that it is. So whether you like it or don't, you can blame Mike White.
Is your person to blame.
So, but with that same mentality of "is it fun?" I am hoping that he will want to
Make it fun
while he's on Survivor, and I'm excited to see him, but I do not think he will do very well. I think it's right that he is the last pick, because
I also love how he's the only one with the last name in the
yeah,
ticket.
I was gonna say that,
because I don't
Mike.
look at him as
He's not
Mike.
Mike.
He's not Mike. He's Mike White.
He's Mike White.
it is really annoying to me that like we even have to think about the whole White Lotus thing. Like,
Is that why it's called White Lotus? Because his name's White? I didn't even think of that.
that's crazy. I did not either.
I mean, it is a flower.
No, I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe.
Just a crazy coincidence that his last name is White and he made the White Lotus.
That is so crazy. I didn't even think about that. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's annoying that like that even has to be a factor in the game. Like, yes, he's a celebrity, but like he's just a guy, and that's what he was the first time he played. And like nobody cared. Like he freaking wrote School of Rock, and like these people probably didn't know that. But like, you know, I'm assuming they didn't know that, and that's why he was able to be so like, not a celebrity, but like he's just a guy. So I want them to treat him like just a guy, but they won't.
Also, because all these other people are kind of celebrities too. Like Cerie's a celebrity, I would say.
Right. Well, it's like
that's the thing; they've all become.
A lot of these people have won money on other shows, or have won money before, or like are so like celebrities in their own right,
or Riz gods,
what they've done and where they've been. So like, I don't know. I want him to do well, but I don't think he will.
Yeah. Carly.
Yeah, he'll be fun to watch. I think they did so well with the casting of like if you're gonna pick 3 players from David vs. Goliath, they picked like the 3 perfect ones to exemplify the season. So but yeah, I'll be excited to see Mike White again. He's great, fun.
Yes. So there we go. We did the draft. We just got it under 4 hours, which is actually pretty good. About an hour per round, which makes sense because we also have a lot of thoughts about all these players. Just to recap everyone's drafts, Matt, your draft board, the people you'll be rooting for to get points this season are Cerie, Ozzy, Rizgod, and Mike White. Zach's
so pretty.
Zach's lineup is Aubrey, Rick Devens, Camilla, and Kyle. Dylan's lineup is Coach, Angelina, D, and Colby. Real hodgepodge there. Ingrid's are Tiffany, Christian, Jenna, Lewis, and Savannah. Austin's lineup is Joe, Jonathan, Chrissy, and Steph. A lot of muscle there. Carly's lineup is Genevieve, Emily, Q, and Charlie. All new era. So very, very exciting lineups there. Everyone getting Oh no, I have a new era. I was gonna say I have no new era, but I do. I have D, obviously. But that is it for the draft. It's gonna be really exciting to see how this shapes up. I will give updates every single week as to fantasy points. I'll do a fantasy recap, and I will also do an update on our power rankings. Zach and I are gonna do power rankings on TikTok. Our first power rankings though will be as part of our cast assessment, so stay tuned. You can kind of get a sense of where our heads are leaning. I assume Zach's power ranking might just be what his draft order was, but we'll be there to kind of just talk about each player individually, talk about the tribe dynamics, and then give our boot orders for what we think the season is going to be. Otherwise, really quickly, we did our fantasy points, but who are your final winner pick and first boot pick? We're just going to go around, and then any last words where they can find you or anything else you want to impart the guests as they go. Matt, last thoughts.
Winner pick, Cerie. first boot, I think I'm thinking Q. And then you can find me on Matty Loves Movies. I've been on hiatus, but I'm coming back at the end of the month, the 28th of February, with a new show, which I haven't announced yet, so I'm not going to talk about yet.
Cool. Carly.
My winner pick, I think I'm gonna go with Tiffany. Like there's a few maybe, but I think Tiffany will. He's the one sticking with. First boot. I'm not gonna say Q, even though I think it's Q. I'm gonna say Kyle because I don't want one of my team already gone.
There you go. Austin, winner pick, first boot pick, and any last thoughts?
Winner pick Surrey. Gonna put it out there. Gonna manifest it. I don't want to manifest this, but my gut thinks Mike White first boot.
Wow. All right. So the first and last pick of the draft, all Matt's team though, so that's good.
Oh my god! What if our draft is the boot order, guys?
That would be crazy.
So crazy.
But a final three of Suri, Aubrey, and Coach is like
Iconic.
Cherry on
Incredible.
top. Tiffany, fire making loser, Rob Goddess, Joe going out at 5th, Genevieve 6th. I could see this. I mean, this boot order not terrible.
It's not impossible,
and not implausible either. Like Jonathan makes the merge, Ozzy makes the merge.
Yep.
Like I'm looking at it now. I'm like Camilla getting cut right before the merge. D is like one of the last.
Do you really
winners
think they're
cut.
not going to merge till 13? I think we see a bigger merge.
Maybe 13, 14 mergatory is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, Charlie and early boot, Colby. Yeah, this could be the boot order. Who knows? That would be sick.
Incredible.
If we predict the boot order right there, and then everyone's just gonna say we're spoiled. Ingrid, first boot prediction and winner pick.
First boot, Quintavious, and no love lost from me. But I will agree with Carly and pick Tiff as my winner. Yeah. One of these days we're gonna make a podcast. I don't know when. We've been talking about it since before we started dating. And that was like 5 years ago. So
Hey, I can't wait to see it when the time comes.
give us some encouragement. Maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are great. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's a reason I have you guys on. It's not because you know about Survivor and you like Survivor. You guys talk about it very well and very knowledgeably, and it's why I have all of you guys on. It is really always an amazing conversation with all of you. I'll leave you all with this. Q first boot, sadly, is what I'm predicting. And then a Suri win is what I'm manifesting / predicting. Only because my winner pick of Genevieve and Angelina, there was something that was missing, and I was like, you know what? It's Suri's time. I'm probably wrong, but
I mean, if it means Suri wins, I'll take a Q first boot.
Yeah, but either way, in all our scenarios, a black woman wins Survivor 50, and I think that's epic. And we'll hopefully get Jeff to bring back Vesepia. That is my hope. Is if Suri or Tiffany wins, they bring in Vesepia.
I fear that may be past time, but that's
I think
okay.
this was the last
I
chance.
think he hates Vesepia. He does not want her on the show.
Yeah, it sucks, but this would be probably the last chance to bring her back. But maybe that's a first bites episode coming up where I'll be like top 10 winners that or players that will never come back but should. I don't know. But thank you guys so much.
And without Philip.
Francesca, yes.
Amen.
Yes, and bring back Jerry without Colby. I don't know. That would be fun too. Like players who should play without their Achilles heels.
See, because she would still be interesting without him. It's not true the other way.
And Camilla without Kyle. I think it could be fun to do that topic too. But thank you guys so much for watching and staying with us all 4 hours. It was a really fun fantasy draft.
Exactly.
I don't know if we'll ever do this big a draft again, but it's for Survivor 50. We have to. It's iconic and amazing, and we can't wait for 51. But first, we got to get through 50. I'm really excited, and happy premiere. Bye.